We're heading on into the arena, and we'll see how this series is going to pan out. We've got Bin up in the top lane, SOFM in the jungle, Angel, Huanfeng, and Sword Art on the side of Suning. And they've been feeling good. They're on a 3-win streak. They beat Rogue Warriors, they beat DMO, which, you know, GD down 2-0. This is suddenly becoming a team that you have to respect in the LPL.
That's why they're a big question mark to me, right? Because they've lost to JDG, IG, and EDG, but obviously 2-0ing LGD and even beating WE is pretty impressive.
And when they beat LNG were actually looking really good at the time as well. So I don't know. Suning is a bit of a question mark on quite the level they are at, but it's feeling good right now if you're a Suning fan. E-Star on the other side of the scoreboard, not quite as positive on a 4-loss streak right now, but they're bringing Xiaobai back into the fold once again. Wei, Fun, Wink, and Xiaoxi is the lineup that you can see on the screen.
Wei walking on stage laughing, chewing some gum. Seems questionable things, or it's the lack of action that we see from him. Sometimes it's actually questionable.
Yeah, it's kind of similar with Bin, right? Like, when he looks good, he looks amazing, like getting massive Wukong ults across teams and whatnot, but sometimes it feels like Suning's biggest issue is the coordination on teamfights on when to go in, when to actually make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, their teamfight coordination was always the big issue. They were relying on that Ashbard combo for so long. LGD's kind of the first series in a while where we've seen them not gravitate towards either of those champions, just drafting straight up 5v5 team compositions, right? The Aphelios, the Nautilus, the Ezreal, the Leona. But despite falling behind in both games, they still came out on top in the end.
Yeah, it does feel good to see them trying out different styles, though, as we move forward through the split. Because ultimately, if you're a fan of Suning, if you're a fan of any of these middle-of-the-table teams, it's not just about making it to playoffs. It's important that these teams, by the time they get to playoffs, have multiple styles to play.
And to me, they don't necessarily need multiple styles if their style isn't easily banned out. The problem with the way Suning's been playing is it has been very heavily reliant on either Ashe, Bard, or both together. So they're going to need to be able to find more, especially not being able to coordinate team fights. You cannot survive in the LPL if you cannot team fight.
Absolutely. When you go against those top teams, they are going to destroy you 5v5 if you don't have the team fight coordination down. We're into Champ Select, though. And immediately, a lot of bans going on towards Xiaoxi. The Thresh ban and that set ban both aimed at Xiaoxi.
And Suning have been the team that have always prioritized the Ashe, but with the Aphelios open, it's going to be a bit of a question mark. Do they go for the Aphelios, or do they just prioritize the pick potential?
I'm kind of telling a bit of a porky there when I say about the set ban. It's actually more at Fun than it is at Xiaoxi. Fun has been playing a ton of that set in the mid lane and facilitating himself to just move around the map. Our first pick, though, is going to go towards this jungle for SOFM with the Graves.
And I'm actually quite surprised. It's obviously been Wei's most played champion, to where SOFM, it's one of his least played, so definitely more of a takeaway on the side of Suning. And E-Star prioritizing the Ashe over the Aphelios. This has been a champion that Huanfeng has also looked very good on, so really interesting change-up in draft.
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird one, but Fun's sticking to his style with this Karma here because he's only played it once, but when you look at his top champions, it's the Galio, it's the Set, it's these things that can just get out of lane, get elsewhere, and help the team. Karma going to facilitate exactly that, but also kind of a takeaway from the side of Suning when you do have this Graves as well. It's a great combination.
True, but not much of an Angel-style champion. The weird thing to me, though, Munchables, is we had Aphelios open, and neither team wanted Aphelios.
That's true.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, we had Varus and Kalista banned, Aphelios left wide open, and we're actually seeing this Ezreal once again. It feels like Ezreal has really fallen out of favor in the LPL a little bit, ever since the Yuumi nerfs perhaps, but Huanfeng, definitely one of the premier Ezreals in the LPL.
To be fair, though, he's relied much more on the other two. He's played 9 games of Aphelios, 5 of Ashe, only 3 of Ezreal. And it's not a champion I'm all too high on, especially against the Ashe, because we know they're going to be losing out in bot lane priority, and it's going to give E-Star a lot of onus to make the plays, when that was what Suning were relying on to start finding these wins.
Well, we've been blasting through the picks here. is we've got a jungler on both sides and the bottom lane. So it's only solo lanes remaining. Unless that Karma does go to the mid lane, we could still see that flex between support and mid. The Jace banned away here by eStar. And we'll see where Suning are going to go with their bans. Who they want to focus.
I expect them to ban out, I was going to say supports, but instead taking away Xiaobai's Ornn. It does make sense because Xiaobai definitely has the smallest champion pool in the team as compared to Xiaoxi, who plays, a ton of champions, but definitely feels like Xiaoxi would probably want to go towards something like the Nautilus in this comp.
It's worth mentioning as well that both of these top laners love the Wukong. We've had 7 Wukong games from Xiaobai this split. We've had 4 Wukong games from Bin this split. So that could be a very contested pick as we get to the latter half of the draft. I wouldn't be super surprised to see Suning just banning that off the board, honestly.
It makes sense because Bin's champion pool isn't that small. Xiaobai has played Wukong, Ornn, Volibear, and Mordekaiser, so not having all too big of a pool.
So we'll see if they are going to go for that Wukong banner. If they just allow it through and maybe go for a counter pick as well. We have seen a few things that do go well into the Wukong.
And Bin's champion pool does have champions it's going to, because Bin is the type of player who is willing to pull out something like a Jax, which does quite fine in that matchup.
I mean, he's played Jax, he's played Sylas top, he's played Camille as well. Like, Bin is happy to go in whatever direction his team needs.
I have seen Xiaobai solo queue recently, and he is pretty much exclusively spamming Volibear. He's pretty much become a Volibear one-trick in Korean solo queue.
Well, Volibear is damn strong in the top lane right now. He's going to lock that one in. And we'll see what Suning want to do about that one. Because Renekton is still open, and Renekton has very much been the go-to in terms of trying to beat this Volibear up in the top lane. But also, it's Bin's most played top laner of the split anyway.
Yeah, and moving on, a lot of Angel's champions actually don't do too well in the Karma, so I would love to see him actually pick up this Orianna. He hasn't played Orianna this split yet. Obviously, you have some sort of ball delivery system in there with the Leona, and obviously also going to be able to help just buff up SOFM and Huanfeng in their own roles to be big carries for this team.
Yeah, trying to
enable, that's the word.
Enable.
That is a word.
That is a word. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Orianna very much this utility mid pick. We don't see the Renekton that I was talking about. Instead, we see Jax from Bin in the top lane, which is a bit of a weird one. But we have talked about it in the past where these dodge abilities like the Jax, like the Shen, can do very well into Volibear.
Yeah, these are ones that talking to pros, like the whispers have been, oh, Jax is, fine early on, you'll face some pressure, but very quickly you will become something that can deal with the Volibear. And if they did go for the Shen on the side of eStar, that is a Xiaoxi special. Would also signal they're willing to play more towards topside, but no, instead they're going to go for the Morgana. And their comp is... So they're really just going to try to hard play through bot lane.
This is Xiaoxi's 11th individual pick so far this split. 11 picks. We're only halfway through the split, and already he's got a champion ocean down in that bottom side. We know how great he is with skill shots, and he's going to be doing fine on the black shields as well. So a lot of protection here coming out from Xiaoxi, and a lot of eggs in the wink basket from the side of eStar.
Yeah, eStar's comp is actually really interesting because so you're going to play hard for getting those turret plate spot sides since you do have a range support. Also going to be very hard for Sword Art to go in on you. But it works in a kind of like a siege comp in a sense, since you also do have that Karma in the mid lane to where you can just group up in front of turrets and throw down all your abilities. But obviously it's going to be a lot more about buffing up your Volibear to run in. You have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow in there as well, so still a bit of a team fight composition.
We'll have to see. And I mean, Suning, the team fight compositions are their lifeblood, right? This is what they draft almost every single time. This is the kind of style that they have opted into, and it's been looking great so far for them this split. And they're very much a favorite coming into this series. My big questions are all about eStar, are all about the proactivity that we may or may not see from eStar. But with this kind of composition, with a Karma in the mid lane, we could see a lot of plays around this bottom side of the map.
I mean, this is how we always see eStar play, right? To where Fun's on some non-interactive laning champion that can just pretty much instantly clear the wave, allow for Wei to make these aggressive plays either on the enemy buff, but typically towards the bottom side looking for these dives, and eStar trying to snowball an advantage through there.
It's how they found themselves success back in spring, was diving in that bottom lane, making plays on the bottom half of the map, and eStar drafting the way that they regularly have in the past. And we'll see if it can finally start working for them this split. The synergy doesn't feel like it's been there so far in summer, but I'm hoping that we can see some glimpses of it at least here in this series.
Yeah, and obviously on the side of Suning, we have a lot more of this like 1-4 composition to where Jax just wants to be in a side lane all game, bullying out Xiao by taking turrets on his own. And even Suning's core 4 is extremely strong. But actually, we have seen Suning go with Bin on the Jax, first buying a Black Cleaver, if I remember, and playing more of a team fight build. Oh, it was against DMO. I remember Mitsuki clearing the ward.
Clearing the ward?
Oh my god. You didn't see that play? Oh god, it was something else.
Oh, I definitely watched that series, but I don't distinctly remember a ward. But there you go.
I mean,
my memory isn't fantastic anyway.
I hope all of you can just remember that play for me saying Mitsuki clearing the ward, because that was a big tilter.
I'll take your word for it on that one. But E-Star looking to make moves to start this one off. They're going to find themselves the Suning red buff here. In the meantime, SOFM going to know all of this is going on. There are wards available, or at least Huanfeng has been able to spot it out anyway. SOFM starting on his blue buff should be able to hopefully at least answer and take the red buff of Wei.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see them trade sides, because I've said this before, it typically signals that a team can be trying to set up for a very early bot dive, especially when they also have mid priority from the Karma. And hey, if you can dive bot at level 2, Leona, Ezreal, Leona's not going to be all that tanky. It's going to be hard for Ezreal to escape. And they are already building up a wave. So bot dive can be a potential play we're about to see.
And you know what? When I think of E-Star in spring, diving bot early was exactly the kind of play that we'd see out of them. Top bandit just goes wide there. It's Fun going to drop a ward in his own jungle, because he knows SOFM is probably going to want to move in there. But for now, Wei going to return to his own side of the map and go for the blue buff.
Yeah, interesting to see. And SOFM definitely going to go invade the top side of Wei's jungle. So for the side of Suning, you don't actually need too much to happen early on in this game, right? You don't need to be too proactive. You have the Ezreal, you have the Orianna, you have a Jax. Pretty much all of your champions are scaling champions that want to play more in the late game.
I'm honestly excited as well to see this Orianna from Angel, because when we think of Suning, Angel has... Hang on, I don't have time to talk about Angel right now. Well, maybe I do, because SOFM, you smooth criminal, you slides out of the play. Xiaobai will find him, but he knows he can't start this fight.
And E-Star actually going complete opposite of what we usually see them with those bot side plays, just going and making sure SOFM can't completely counter jungle's top side. We also had Xiaobai following in as well, but like you said, SOFM quite smooth with those moves to get away.
Now we've got a bit of a weird one as well, because SOFM already on this topside scuttle. In fact, he's going to go for a topside gank as well. Xiaobai could be in trouble here.
Yeah, does look like he's at least going to have to blow his flash.
Sky Splitter, they wait until Xiaobai commits to the play. Still has his flash available, will be slowed by the red buff, but SOFM has easily enough damage to finish this one off. One more auto, and first blood for Suning.
Yeah, and overall, Xiaobai in a really rough position, right? Because Bin had already crashed a wave into his turret, so it's already pushing back. He would have needed cover from Wei to guarantee that he could safely push out that wave.
Really nicely done here from Suning and from specifically SOFM. And, you know, you were saying before the game, SOFM is one of the players on this team that sometimes looks amazing, sometimes leaves something to be desired.
Oh, God, and we're going for round 2.
Oh, no. Poor Xiaobai.
Where's SOFM, though?
He's just chilling.
I think he's waiting for Wei, actually. I think he's expecting Wei to come topside, but...
Well, he's just seen him on a ward, so he knows that's not happening. And in fact, SOFM recalls. He's not interested in the repeat game.
But for the side of E-Star, this is what we expected, right? We said, hey, they're picking Morgana in the bot lane. They're just playing 4 plates and then to snowball this advantage around the map. It's kind of like a pseudo Caitlyn Morgana in a sense, right? You're setting up the siege. You have ultimate eventually if you want to play more aggressively around this for dives, and then just rotating that duo around the map while continuously snowballing neutral objectives.
SOFM now moves towards the bottom side of the map himself, and we've got an Infernal Drake to start things off. And obviously Wei will have an advantage when it comes to smiting, just on the fact that he's a Lee Sin, and he has had control of the bottom side of the map so far. SOFM moving up to that top half once again.
But kind of going back to what we just saw, this is why I don't like seeing Ezreal, especially pick into the Ashe. Like, you opted into this matchup, sure, E-Star did have counter pick for bot lane, but even more reason where I am kind of surprised by the Graves takeaway for the side of Suning. We see how much CS Huanfeng is down. It's about 20 CS right now. And E-Star's bot lane also already has 2 plates.
Yeah, it's not a good way to start things off. And with this huge priority that you're talking about in that bottom lane, it means that Wei is pretty safe to just walk up to this dragon, start things off if he really wants to. Drops a control ward. And instead going to move into the jungle.
Realistically, both teams can just commit to their strong sides of the map, right? Because we've seen Suning are stronger on top side, so SOFM can just stay up here. E-Star have much more wave clear mid and much stronger bot lane. So we could just commit to this trade side until first turrets eventually go down. And E-Star probably could pick up that bot lane turret pretty soon.
Certainly could see that after the dragon here. I like this from Wei as well. Moves into the jungle, clears any wards first. Takes the blast cone as well. Just make sure this is as safe as possible.
But on the opposite side of the map, we see Xiaobai pinging for assistance because SOFM is hovering, but Fun covering. So right now, E-Star putting pressure on both sides of the map.
Fun wants to try and make something happen here, or at least try and protect
covering
his top laner. In the meantime, SOFM takes the crooks and realizes there's not a whole lot more he can do about that one. Let's bear in mind, Graves and Lee Sin don't typically go even on farm.
No, Graves definitely more of the, right, you have a faster clear, you're trying to get ahead through a CS advantage, but we need to remember that he also has the more losing matchups, right? His mid gets pushed in, his bot is clearly a hard losing matchup. You're not really going to be able to take advantage of this Graves pick in that way.
This is really rough for Huanfeng. It's so difficult to farm against this level of poke, and he might even have to go back to base here. Should be able to soak the next wave, hopefully, but maybe they find a play instead. SOFM steps forward.
I'm surprised they didn't actually wait for him to commit more.
I think basically deciding they don't actually want to fight this, but I could be wrong, because that's a lot of damage onto Wei out of SOFM. Both junglers have Smite available here. In fact, Wei doesn't right now. They're just buying time. In goes Sorta onto the play. Shockwave across the team. Look at that out of Suning. What a way to start things off.
And Suning making the counterplay, pretty much baiting that out, right? We kept saying, what do they want to do? They don't want to fight. Sorta goes in. Great Shockwave coming out from Angel. And this is not the team that should be winning early skirmishes on bot side.
That was, I mean, that wasn't even a skirmish. That was just E-Star getting completely one-shot as a whole team. Angel, perfect roam, moves down, just annihilates them.
Well, Munchables, it was a 4v4 or 3v3 that qualifies as a skirmish.
I don't know if it does if the other team dies before they can fight back. That counts as eradication in my book.
Oh, God.
Oh, Wei got that. What a Q. Nice.
So we are seeing, I was going to say jungle difference, but after the fact that he just got annihilated
yeah,
on the Red Buff invade.
It's 1-0-2 against 0-1-0.
And all he did was steal a small raptor, so.
It was a big raptor.
Oh, it was the big raptor? Okay, so.
That's 42 gold.
So jungle difference.
Well, Wei's done it. He's won him the series. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Close it all up. We're done here.
Oh, it looks like he's actually starting Herald. He might be just killing a ward. Yep. Suning did have a. No, he's actually starting the Herald, so.
Jungle difference, boys and girls. Wei starts this one up.
I don't know if this is the play to make. Bin is on his way up. Bin is definitely stronger than Xiaobai at this point.
Angel doesn't have Shockwave right now, though. That'll be up in maybe 20 seconds or so. Bit of damage onto Wei. They're going to force everyone out, and it's Xiaobai that's in trouble here. Good ult to get a stun from Wink, but it's not quite going to... I mean, it keeps the top laner alive. Oh, and in he goes Wei. Jungle difference after all. Look at that.
Yeah, just great play coming in. Amazing smite coming out from Wei. Looked like Suning should have been the ones to guarantee it, but still, they did have more members on the play, so we're able to scare Suning just a little bit. And great arrow from Wink, too. It looked like it saved Xiaobai, but maybe he still would have been able to get away.
You know what? Whether he could have got away or not, I'll take it. Wink gets the credit for that one. Good job, Wink. Nice Ash Arrow. After the last series, I'm good with seeing some good Ash Arrows.
Me too, so you're right. Great job to Wink. Still.
Uh-oh, maybe not, because Wink is going to go down here. Angel gets himself a kill. Greedy recall. Good Ash Arrow, greedy recall.
You know, I'm taking back the praise. Terrible Ash Arrow, deserved death.
Worst AD carry in the league. No, that's obviously not true. I am, of course, joking, ladies and gentlemen. But a little bit greedy on the recall, and he's going to be punished for it.
This is a non-judgmental broadcast. We don't call players bad here. We are not negative broadcasters.
Are we not? This is a positive gaming experience. Is that where we're going with this?
Yes, but what is not positive is the gold score, which is actually in Suning's favor, which kind of surprised me with the fact that E-Star are actually the ones who are heavily winning out in plates. They have 3 plate spot and 1 plate mid, compared to Suning's 1 plate top side.
But when we look at the CS across the board, it's kind of even with a huge CS lead in the top lane. Obviously, that's evened out in the bottom lane, but then another CS lead in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, so Suning definitely understandably far ahead.
Uh-oh. Honfang does have the cleanse, so he'll get away with his life. Has to use the flash as well. Not ideal for him, but ultimately, against this lane, he's going to continue to be bullied out on the bottom side.
This has been a mistake we've seen from Honfang many times, actually, where it's actually happened on the Ezreal, where he's left alone in lane, walks a bit too far forward, takes a greedy path, and is forced to blow both summoners right away.
What happened to Funfun there? I think that was a minion plus the Orianna ball kind of just ruined his pathing a little bit, but Angel just going to continue to bully. And that's exactly what you'd expect in this matchup. Like, the strength of Karma is that wave clear, but ultimately Orianna can easily match it. Arrow goes up, misses everyone. So that's going to mean that no play comes of this one. But E-Star once again to start the dragon here.
And we do have Xiaobai roaming straight from base, so Bin will have to...
Hang on, we got to catch onto Sword Art here. Has his flash, but no chance to use it. Kill goes the way away.
Extremely decisive coming out from into noticing that split second, I need to flash kick, throw out the Sonic Wave, secure the kill. And now they'll be able to turn on the dragon.
Beautifully done here by E-Star, finding themselves finally a kill and an advantage here as they can move in on towards this dragon. In the meantime, Bin is happy. He's on Jax. He's like, all right, I'll just take 19 turret plates. No worries, guys. This is literally my comfort zone.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he has Triforce on base at this point. Has just been farming freely, has gotten a few more plates in topside. I'm actually surprised Suning are posturing for this. I guess Sword Art is back on the map. Both top laners have TP, so this can become a 5v5 really quick.
I'm sort of hoping it will. One thing I do just want to quickly mention, if we do have a fight coming up. Hang on, Angel's in trouble here. Root comes through. There's a bind. There's everything. Goodbye, Angel. And another kill for Wei. Wei is looking good this game.
Wei has been the best performing player on E-Star. Pretty much the whole split has still been, I'd say, in our conversation for one of our better junglers in the LPL.
Funfun going to grab a ton of gold for those plates as well. Bear in mind it was Funfun that picked up the Herald in the first place, so it doesn't have to share a lot of that gold. Now on towards the Dragon for the side of E-Star. And realistically, with Angel not available, this is easily going to go the way of E-Star.
And Munch, I am putting my Fs in chat because once again, our first two Drakes are Ocean and Infernal.
It's not pretty, is it? We'll see where we roll.
Mountain.
It's a Cloud Drake. There we have it. Meaningless neutrals for the rest of the game, boys and girls.
Yes, they are.
Well,
But
they're not meaningless.
they're not me. Like, we definitely are over dramatic.
Ult
in that
CDR
sense,
is nice.
Right? Like,
It's just the soul sucks.
yeah. I mean, the good thing is, you still, if you're that winning team, want to try to get to that point where you can even get Elder and then just take the game from there. So it's not meaningless. We're definitely a bit over dramatic with that one. But who doesn't want more blood, especially with an Infernal Soul? But speaking of more blood, Bin now extremely strong, can probably 1v1 Xiaobai at any point, has picked up the Triforce, and another Ashol whips today.
I regret complimenting Winks Ashels. He got one good one at the start. It's not been good since. And Bin's in a 1v2 right now. Kicked back, flashes away, but it's followed by Wei. The Leap Strike, though, might just mean he's going to be okay on this one. Still doesn't have his flash available. Dodges the Shockwave.
Was that a dodge?
Shockwave?
No, not Shockwave.
Sonic Wave.
But wasn't really a dodge. He was kind of running straight forward, and it looks like Wei predicted that Bin would dodge upwards.
He overestimated his opponent.
That happens a lot, actually.
Amateur hour here. Maybe Jungle Diff goes the other way. Maybe it's SOFM after all. Wei going to go onto a blue buff here. I think he still gets credit for best jungler right now. But SOFM moving into the bottom side of the map. It looks like Suning maybe want to try and grab this bottom town.
Yeah, I'm just actually quite surprised. I guess it's because Wei showed on the top half of the map, but we've seen all game long that E-Star bot lane are the ones with pressure. And Funfun does have TP to join in a play if Suning do over-aggress. Xiaobai as well.
Yeah, they decide to back away from this one, and it's just going to be trying to find something, and they will find it onto Wei here. The combo is beautiful, and Wei goes down. Collateral damage just as a cherry on top there. Funfun almost fell himself.
And let's remember that Suning are not the teams that need to make an aggressive play. And that was more of them abusing the fact that Wei showed on topside, right? Wei showed on topside. It gave Suning a window to create a play, but Funfun's probably dead.
Yeah, I don't know about this TP Fun. Fun. There's a whole squad here. He's going to go down on this one. It's a double TP. They're both going to die. Xiaobai can't survive underneath the tower. Fun actually gets away. No, flash for the auto from Angel. And now he's as well forces. He's got himself a goat. He's got himself Scuttle Crab. Xiaoxi's going to fall. Another one for Angel. 4, 1, and 3 already.
Suning literally just tried to make a play for 1 kill on the way. And it suddenly became 4 kills with Fun TPing in. Xiaobai also TPing in, and Xiaoxi walking forward and be like, well, guys, let's give them a 4-for-1 special.
And, like, let's just take a second here. Hang on. It's Wink in trouble as well now. He's trying to get onto Wanfeng before he goes down, but Angel's there with the shield. Saves his AD carry. Gets himself 5, and this is why Angel is praised on Suning.
2 weeks in a row, we've run segments highlighting Angel. In this game, he is showing why. Looking phenomenal on this Orianna. Overall, the shot calling of Suning being really on point this game. The early play on the red buff, anticipating that, counteracting that. This last play we saw where, again, Wei showed on top side. They try to set up bot. Doesn't work out. They still catch Wei in transition. And again, all of this is stemming from that first pick they just made on Wei. We see Fun TPing in. He's pretty much guaranteed to die. Does buy a lot of time. Xiaobai comes in as well. You're still left in between Bin and SOFM, so he goes down right away. Xiaoxi trying to save his mid laner. Angel has flash, so guess what? You're dead, and now at this point, Xiaoxi's pretty much guaranteed dead.
This was like, oh, hang on. We got to get another fight here. Sort of trying to make things happen, but Xiaoxi just going to bind him up. Maybe we don't have a fight here. That was like, okay, what? Angel, come on, man.
Oh,
you're better than this. Oh, he's going to get kicked back. Angel's in trouble for once. He's going to get bound, but actually finds a kill onto Wei before he even goes down. This is what I expected from the first series. This is exactly what I didn't expect from the second one here. Now Xiaoxi's down. SOFM being aggressive on the Graves. This is what I love to see.
Guys, we have the scaling comp with a 5k gold lead. And again, this isn't just like a sort of scaling comp, right? We have an Orianna, we have a Jax, we have an Ezreal, a Graves.
Yeah.
All of these champions definitely doing better the later the game goes on. So
that was a weird placement of the Herald, but you know what? Bin still gets it. He's happy with that one. And let's just take a minute to appreciate the fact that Bin is on a scaling pick, but because of the lane matchup, he is so far ahead right now. Almost 80 CS ahead of Xiaobai. In the meantime, like, that CS lead was kind of matched in the bottom lane, but ultimately, Ashe is not going to do as much in a game as a Jax.
Also, right, we do remember SOFM giving him that first gank, and
yeah,
honestly, could have even came around for a second game gank had he wanted, but instead opting just get a faster recall to go towards bot side.
And like this is all before we even take Angel into account. He's got a Spellbinder as well as his GLP, as well as boots already. He's 6-4 and 2, 6-2 and 4. I can't count. And he's looking for a kill. Xiaobai just about gets away with his ult there.
Yep, ult for ult.
Hey, we've seen Angel with a million shockwaves already this game. He's got Cloud Drakes to work with.
Oh,
Wanfeng dodges the arrow.
You know,
we've got 1 out of 5 so far for Wing.
I don't think we need to criticize that one though. Because, right, that one was actually a dodge coming out from Wanfeng. That was
to
not
predict the E, or else. That's my expectation,
oh, God.
okay?
The elitist LPL casting team.
Look, I'm not saying I could have done it better. I'm just saying I couldn't have done it better.
And Wei now, we said jungle difference early on, but Angel now forcing him off his drugs.
I mean, this does feel like the map kind of fell apart around Wei in a lot of situations.
Wei did his best this game.
I don't know if we can really blame any of this on Wei. And he got a great kick onto Angel. It's just like Angel is so far ahead that even when he gets a kick onto Angel, the follow-up from E-Star isn't enough, and Angel can turn the damage around before he goes down.
I also want to say, there's a lot of games I look at and I say, okay, there's some like obvious mistake that lost this game, but this game felt like more better play from Suning rather than bigger missteps from E-Star, right? Because this all started to go in Suning's favor, starting from that play around red buff, where Suning just anticipated well, read it well, and had confidence that they could burst out the members of E-Star, and they coordinated it beautifully.
I completely agree. Like, Suning have looked fantastic in this game. And, like, I mean, when you look at the standings, this is the result that you should expect, right?
Yes.
Suning are absolutely the favorite coming into the series. E-Star have had a really rough split so far. The biggest thing from the side of eStar that I wanted to see in this series was proactivity, trying to make plays around the map, trying to find themselves a lead and just snowball. And we saw a little bit of that proactivity, but I feel like they could have gone more aggressive in the bottom side.
Bin. For the side of...
I don't know if they could fight him, dude.
I don't think they could
I
either.
feel like he could just 2v1 that.
For the side of eStar playing around bot, though, when you draft the Morgana, it's not necessarily about finding those ganks. You could potentially set up a dive early on like we set up, but as the game goes on... I'm going to slow down. As the game goes on, it gets harder.
Oh, hang on. God damn it.
I keep expecting something to happen, but overall, eStar just not in a good position to go forward. 7K gold lead for the side of Suning, so...
Look at the top diff. 4,000 gold in favor of Bin. He's on Jax. Jax is not meant to be ahead at 20 minutes by 4,000 gold.
Yeah, this is just big team difference coming in here. And, you know, I don't want to recount the game because it feels like something's going to happen any moment. Like, both teams are posturing really aggressively. Suning and Florce are going to be able to take this turret. Actually, Suning can probably take both turrets.
Yeah, Suning are just so far ahead right now. They're 7,000 gold ahead. Like, there is no way that eStar can realistically fight them at this point in the game. Unless they can find some kind of pick. Like, let's bear in mind, there is massive pick potential on the side of eStar.
But let's also keep in mind the fact that typically a pick when you're behind, not typically, when you're behind, you're relying on the enemy to make a mistake.
Pulling the trigger on, trying to find a pick onto Xiaobai, who is built full tank, so not going to be able to find the kill there.
I thought that was really interesting, the fact that they looked for that pick without having to commit. They just used a bunch of long-range tools. And with how far ahead they are, I could see them like wanting to just take a guess, like, hey, do we have the damage to do this? They actually got pretty close. It was like 40% HP.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I guess when you word it like that, it's like, look, hey, maybe we get it, maybe we don't. If we don't, nothing happens.
Nothing happens, right?
If we do, great, we got a pick. Let's find something on the map.
And there's no objective that's up right now, so you're going to have time for your ultimates to come up anyway. I mean, heck, we look at it, almost all of their ultimates are already back up.
And you know what? When we look at the bottom lane, that was the big advantage for eStar to start things off. They're looking for another advantage as SOFM will get stunned, but Xiaoxi took a huge chunk for that one. Flash from SOFM followed by Wei. They find themselves a pick. Kick on Sword Art as well, but Bin's arriving and so is Angel. Wink's in trouble here and Bin just obliterates Xiaoxi. There's a stun onto the AD carry. In goes Bin to try and finish him off. Can't quite get him though. In comes Wanfeng from the side. Shockwave onto 3 of them. Suning just about pulling this fight off. And you know what? If they weren't so far ahead, this could have been eStars, but that Jax is huge.
I mean, we got super excited because Wei making great mechanical plays at first, hitting the Sonic Wave, going in with the great ultimate. We're like, okay, this is exciting. Where's it going? Suddenly, Jax TP's in. We see how much one of his W's do, and it's like, okay, well, it's Suning time, baby.
It was good while it lasted. But you know what? The bottom lane, where the big advantage was for eStar, it's now even when it comes to items. Ezreal's hit his power spike, so all of the early game woes for Suning have been forgotten at this point.
And we see them going in, trying to find a pick on SOFM. We said typically Suning needs to make a mistake if they're going to find a pick. Beautiful mechanics coming out from Wei to secure this. But still, once the rest of the members of Suning come in, like Bin here jumping forward, just look how much his W did to Xiaoxi. Is now going to jump forward onto Wink. Pretty much kills him in one hit. We see here to where Wink actually almost wins out in this goal against Wanfeng because Wanfeng looks like he missed 2 Qs, but you know, when you're like 7K gold ahead, you just need to auto. You're going to come out ahead anyway.
And realistically, it was not a very fair 1v1. Wink started that 1v1 on about 500 HP, so...
Yes, he did. He was, he should have been dead to Bin. Did flash away and then get a huge shield, so survived on, like you said, just a little bit of HP.
And Ezreal is very much one of those champions where it's like, if you can hit the Qs, sometimes it feels almost OP. But if you miss those Qs, unless you're really fed, you don't really feel like much of an AD carry, honestly. And we saw that in that 1v1. But ultimately, the Baron now went the way of Suning off the back of that fight. They get to pressure in all 3 lanes if they want to, but they can just commit to 2 back.
Munchables confirming that if you hit your abilities, you do damage.
That's true, and that's a perfect example of it. Xiaoxi nearly goes down. Bin looking for a stun, only finds 1. He's actually kicked back, but he's fine. He's got a shield, and he walks on out of there.
And they secure the bot lane turret, and eStar walking forward so aggressively.
Yeah, I don't know if they can, though. Wink. Never mind. It's Fun that goes down, and this is all but over already. Sword Art is so damn tanky. Onto the inhibitor once more. They got a couple of picks on the solo laners, and they get out with an inhib.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're just playing through 1 to 2 lanes, like you'd already pointed out, because no reason to commit to 3 when you're just giving Eastar an opportunity to potentially 5-man your core and then find a way back into this game.
TP actually being committed here from Angel, so he could get back to base, reset, buy some items. He's got a Void Staff now, in case he wasn't strong enough. Now your MR doesn't matter. And, well, Suning get to just push this one through. If they can find a second inhib here, I think that might just be everything. Wink gets one shot! Collateral damage! This is what you were talking about, the long-range damage from Suning. Xiaoxi trying to get onto Angel. He flashes to safety though. Sword Art looks away. He's gone after the gold and you just know it. Another kill for Angel. And Xiaoxi, Xiaobai, and Funfun all zoned by Angel.
And this game was as dominant as could be from Suning.
Angel maybe overstepped slightly there, but you know what? They don't care. This one's over. 19-5, and this Lion can roar. Suning destroy Eastar in game 1.
And that was way more decisive than I expected it to be. Sure, Suning was the favorite coming in. They obviously 2-0'd LGD, but even that series was pretty shaky in terms of them falling behind early on. This was as one-sided as possible, and I won't even say it only came from Eastar mistakes. It came from Suning reading what Eastar wanted to do well, and when, you know, we could guess for Eastar their communication is probably a combination of Wei and Xiaoxi. For the side of Suning, it is Sword Art. We already said that Sword Art is the one who trained Xiaoxi. Sword Art is literally the one who taught him how to, you know, be a competitive support. Clearly knowing what Xiaoxi wants to do, but I guess it isn't too hard when you always know it's typically going to go bot side for Eastar.
It has to be said as well, like you mentioned Wei and Xiaoxi, they felt like the standout players here on the side of Eastar. Like Xiaoxi doing well, landing the binds, like trying to find picks for the team, and he did a decent job of locking down SOFM so that Wei could follow up on the pick that we saw around Baron. Well, kind of pick, I guess. They lost the fight at the end of it, but hey, at least they were looking for something. Wei as well looked fantastic all game. Like, he fell behind because the entire map fell behind, but individually, he looked great on the Lee Sin.
He kept finding picks. He kept trying to look for avenues into the game, right? He set up his bot lane for success, gave them vision. This is the kind of bot lane that just wants to chip turret plates. Your only real time to make a play is very early on. They didn't abuse or find that window, so then it's just about funneling more gold. They did that, but really that one skirmish at red, and then that one topside gank, where then Suning just abused that window so beautifully, is really what exploded this game for Suning.
And I'm not going to lie, I think more teams should maybe pick the Jax into Volibear, because that was exceptionally one-sided in the top side. And we saw how much damage. Once the Triforce, once the Death Dance were finished for Bin, he just rolled over the entire team. It felt like he was practically invincible during those fights, and also two-shotting people.
I mean, it also was, like you pointed out in game, right? It's not like it was a trade-off to where Bin's ahead on top, but Eastar's bot lane is really ahead. It was extremely early on, but by the time we got to the mid-game, it just all of Suning were ahead, so we saw Bin's W do 50% of Funfun's HP in one of those last fights.
Yeah, like, Bin was absolutely... And also Angel, like,
Oh,
you can see the damage. Like, every single time it was off of cooldown, they looked for a play with the Shockwave. They looked to try and set things up. We saw multiple 3-man Shockwaves across the game. Like, Angel looks great on the Orianna.
I mean, Angel was the clear standout player of this game, right? He's definitely going to grab the MVP for himself. He looked absolutely amazing. And overall, along with him, we said this in game, but Suning shot calling overall just really clean this game.
I have to say, there was the one play around mid lane where it felt like Eastar lost the game and that Suning won it, where Suning commit to playing around that mid lane tier 1. They commit to trying to take that down. Eastar start TPing with Funfun, realize that it's a disastrous idea, and instead of going, okay, Funfun's dead, they commit to the sunk lost fallacy, where they're like, all right, we got to commit harder. We got to TP our top lane in. We got to roam our support up. Everyone comes to try and make this play, and they just die one by one. Angel gets all of the kills, and it's like, maybe this game's over.
But still, let's remember that that play was still started by Suning catching, looking for the play bot, then making Wei transition over, getting that pick. I guess you're right in the fact that Eastar didn't need to hard commit
and then recommit and then recommit.
Triple down on mid. They chose to. They are still a young team, right? Despite the fact they made the playoffs in spring, still a relatively young team overall. Mistakes are going to happen, and Suning's still looking great.
Yeah, Suning look amazing. Eastar leaving something, I don't know. I just want to see them play around Wei. I'd love to see them give Wei the Graves so that he can kind of be the carry of the team, like play kind of the WE style where they play, or the JDG style.
To be fair, right?
Allow him to.
It is his most played champion, but Suning first picked it, and I guess
That's
that is
true.
why, right?
That is true.
You take away the best champion of the other team, and then we saw Wink gets the Ashe, but
I mean, Echo is available.
True.
Give him the Echo.
You do play Echo. He is trying to be Beishang 2.0. He plays Dark Harvest Echo now, but I think another thing we can maybe agree on is maybe get away from the Ashe, too.
Yeah, the Ashe didn't look that great. I mean, ultimately, this felt like it was just individual skill at the end of the day. These team fights, so many of them could have gone E-Star's way, but Suning playing really on form right now. And we'll see if they can keep the ball rolling. We're going to go into a quick break. Don't go anywhere, though, because we've got plenty more League coming your way. At least one more game. We'll see if E-Star can come back, though, right after this.
奥迪已经站好了位置，而 W 里的话，全员是抱团过来排视野。这边给一个加速，想先打一个出其不意，背后这边被留了一下，他来发出个大招，打到张无忌。这边艾克没有定到，张无忌这边的血量有点低了，但是斯高的开枪大招完了，张无忌直接被秒了，而且朱比这边又被贴到，艾克这边疯狂的打 Ruby 也被秒了，已经又是把2W的阵型。Rookie 赶过来，
哎，这波兵线来了，如果人来防守的话，感觉可以把这个前锋堵在这里。
勾到这边应该是要被一，
咱们心要加快。
真的是顶线，
哎，卡
强
飞
闪现过来顶泡芙这里，但是被爆走了，绿袍这个爆很关键。
但是 Low 这里也跑不掉呀，一技能好的一瞬间死掉了。
绿袍跟泡芙都是残血。这边走下倒地了，杜甫这边又 S 一个，这里的话感觉IGN这两个人很
没有睡到。
哦，
这个时候你能追到吗
？Rookie 这里很尴尬，面对两个肉坨子的追击，
一技能好像没拉到，这边睡也没睡到。
哎
，Rookie 是可以跑的，
百发百中。
哦呦，高手这边打得很凶啊，但被闪光拖了一波，
胆子太大了吧！
哎呀，直接被闪现了，看起来被秒了。
出事，但是后部这边的伤害很高。
猴子怎么说？
大招给的很好。这边2W 野辅状态不是特别好，这边大招又是大中了一个卢锡安，这边后部的输出很高啊！一地这边3个残血。哦呦，这波后部的发挥太好了，又勾到一个。沙皇被秒了！我的天，这个后部一直在输出，张无忌还 Q 了一下巨魔，把巨魔带走，但这个IC12实在太高了，又是一个秒。
但这个时候泰坦要过来帮忙挡一下，这边很漂亮。
我这后部真的，
在他们的护甲上打出更多裂痕。
Double kill.
Got a feeling nothing is forever. Keep your voice low. The sun is high, but I wish I could bathe in the moonlight.
Hello everybody, you can see we're here in the beautiful city of Shanghai, and it may not look like it, but it's probably gone dark by now as we're well into our second series. One game in, to be specific, and Suning looking amazing in game number 1. I'm Munchables, this is Lyric on my left, and well, Suning, like, I came into this saying, hey, this is a potential playoff team, proving it right here, because they just dismantled these stuff.
Yeah, showing really clutch performances, and I was joking with you before the cast saying, hey, they probably had to like sell a portion of their soul to get the 2-0 over LGD, so I thought it would be rough waters coming into today. Suning proving me otherwise, just saying, hey, we are a legit team. We are a top team.
It turns out that the win wasn't just down to voodoo, it was down to player skill. That's what we love to see.
Or
in
maybe
LPL.
they sold their soul.
Maybe the player skill came from the voodoo.
That's what I'm saying, right? They sold their soul, but it's sort of like a long-term effect to where they're going to go all the way to the final 5 games of top esports, and then it's going to be left to the
So long as it lasts until the end of Worlds, I'm happy, you know?
Watch it be the opposite, to where they get right to like the final qualifying game to Worlds, and that's where the magic kind of wears off.
Oh no, don't say it. Say it ain't so. We're into Champ Select for game number 2 here. Angel was your MVP, as we didn't really have time to talk about it as we jumped straight into Champ Select here, but eStar have recognized that Angel was the MVP and immediately have banned 2 champions away from it.
They always ban out the Syndra. It's not a champion Fun likes to play. I expect Suning now to ban out the Kalista. It's a champion they ban out even against teams that don't really play it. It's just kind of a perma-ban. Wanfeng has not been someone who enjoys to play it.
Yeah, literally not a single game this entire split. There is that Kalista ban. Wanfeng, plenty of other options though. You know, the Ashe still available, could go for that. The Ezreal, we saw last game, he's more than happy to pick that up. He's also played MF and Kai'Sa, so still plenty of options in the AD carry pool. On the other side, Wink, 10 games on the Ezreal. It's by far his most picked, but I guess they're going to stick with this Ashe.
And I'm surprised, right? The fact that Suning showed, like, hey, we're going to take away Graves from Wei. We think that's a massive priority. And eStar is saying, no, we don't care about the Graves. We're just going to once again go towards the Ashe. Again, we don't know if it's the fact that they think it's the best champion right now, or if they are just afraid of giving it over to Suning.
And that's the scary thing, right, is when you've got these teams that play so heavily around things like the Ashe. Like, we've seen Wanfeng and Sword Art play Ashe and Bard and have this long-range engage. It's a terrifying composition to play against. Other teams, like WE as well, playing really heavily around this Ashe. We've got a few teams that really prioritize this pick, and eStar deciding they don't want to have to deal with that. Volibear is the first pick, though, coming from Suning.
Yeah, and so far, Suning actually haven't played this champion at all. I have seen that SOFM and Bin are both playing in solo queue, so this is a flex pick coming out from this team. And of course, this just does fit SOFM's playstyle, right? He was one of the ones who kept playing jungle set when no one in the LPL really was.
The big question, though, about the solo queue play is, like, are they playing it in solo queue because they want to play it on the stage, or are they playing it in solo queue because they want free elo? Because it's real strong right now.
I will say typically for pretty much all the LPL players, what they're playing in solo queue is what they're going to play on stage. SOFM actually has been the one to go against that, because I remember I checked maybe a week or 2 ago, he was spamming Shyvana, and I was ready. I had my Shyvana notes rearing to go. No Shyvana on stage. I was disappointed.
I'm not that disappointed, especially this AP Shyvana. Get that out of my games. I hate it. eStar, though, they're liking the GOAT right now. Xiaobai gets himself the Ornn. It's something we've seen him play time and time again. Loves these big teamfight ultimates. And once again, Wei gonna grab himself the Graves. We talked about how this is a super high priority jungler.
And overall, this is just eStar getting 2 amazing comfort champions in Ornn and Graves, and they get the takeaway from Wanfeng with the Ashe.
Look at this smile on Angel's face right here. He's cycling through different mid laners. Look at that confidence that is oozing from Suning. They are feeling so good right now, unlocking in a Kayle.
I'm going to be honest, Munch. I'm not a big fan of this for the reason that you now revealed your flex, and you could have made eStar waste potential bans towards top or jungle going into the second phase that they now don't need to waste.
I'm not going to lie, looking at the faces of the Suning players, I don't think that they are stressing out about drafting optimally coming into game number 2. And you know what? If I was on Suning, after game number 1 like that, I don't think I'd be that worried about game 2 either.
I guess you're right. So what you're saying is Suning should disrespect their opponents,
I never said should. I just said that it's not unlikely to see it. We've seen teams play disrespectfully in the past in the LPL.
Yes.
It's not that rare.
That is true, and Still, Suning now are going to have an option of whether they want to counter pick mid or support. These are typically the 2 roles we do see left. With all the bans towards Angel's champion pool, maybe we see mid pick fourth, but the fact that Suning are actually actively banning out supports would signal to me that they want a fourth pick support, and this could be a Bard game. It is Sword Art's best champion this split. It's his most played champion this split. Obviously, Ezreal is the type of champion that you feel comfortable leaving alone in a lane, so...
Ezreal Bard is a great duo, honestly, because obviously Ezreal does a decent job of following up on the poke that you get out of Bard during a lane, but also, as you rightly say, Ezreal totally safe to be alone in that lane, can just avoid any kind of engage. And we saw last game, multiple times, Swanfang able to just zip away from the Ashe ults that came out of Wink.
And I'll be honest, Suning's composition so far is really weird. They're not like heavily indexed into one area, right? It's not necessarily a teamfight comp yet. There's like scaling in it. Kale always can teamfight, can side lane. Volibear, since we know he's jungle, wants to go for these early game invades and skirmishes and duels. So Suning's comp is really going to be determined by the 4th and 5th pick.
We'll see what they go for in the end here. And I think actually going for a relatively serious pick. I was looking at their faces. They were giggling away. I wasn't sure what they had up their sleeves. But the Nautilus comes on through. And I think rightly so, because they do need some hard engage here.
And this was something I was talking to Dagda with on the last hit, is that I don't like the way we've seen Volibear in a lot of our comps here in the LPL. I prefer the LEC version where you'll see it in jungle and you'll put it with hard engage like a Wukong or Ornn in the top lane and a Nautilus or Leon in support. So now, obviously, Suning are setting up for this more teamfight-oriented composition. Oh, wow.
We've got a Taric locked in here for Xiaoxi alongside an Ashe. Not a combo that you usually see, but I can imagine that the slow actually out of Ashe can set up for the stun from Taric pretty well. But it is something we've seen out of Xiaoxi a lot, especially last split. We saw him leaning towards the Taric. Hey, Taric Ashe might not be that good. Taric Kassadin is terrifying.
Yeah, I really like eStar's comp, but I'm more interested in wondering what Angel's going to pick into this, because in solo queue, Angel plays a lot of like aggressive AD champions. Like he plays a lot of mid lane Lucian and things like that. So I wonder if he'll want to go for a lane boy style, which would go against their comp. Or just draft for a team fight.
All I'm saying is Talon is a hard counter to Kassadin, but okay, they go for the LeBlanc. This is something we've seen Angel on in the past. It's something that he can definitely dominate.
But that's really interesting. So
feels like if
wouldn't see this,
you see a lot.
But it's not necessarily any of the champions in isolation being weird. It's seeing this kind of these champions all thrown together being a bit different.
It is a bit of a weird one here from Suning, but they're clearly feeling confident coming into game number 2. In eStar, I like this composition that they've gone for with this Kassadin alongside a Taric. There's a lot of potential for late game carry, especially with the Ashe, especially with the Graves as well. There's pick potential here too. We'll see if eStar can get it off of the ground here in game number 2, because Suning, they made game 1 look easy, and now, with a potentially disrespectful draft in game number 2, we'll see if this is going to pan out for them.
And I want to see what Rune Fun takes in the mid lane, because I do know some players who would take Conquer in this matchup as a Kassadin, but obviously if he doesn't have the confidence, we'll go with the Fleet Footwork. It is a matchup that is rough for Kassadin in the very early levels, so especially levels 1 through 3 is when LeBlanc really needs to start trading heavily and finding an advantage.
There are not very many matchups for Kassadin that aren't rough.
We actually I remember we've seen this. It was from Fofo, the Hail of Blades LeBlanc, and he built Hextech Gunblade first, and hard to punish the Kassadin, you know, with some AD.
I remember this, yeah. And he didn't go for the full AD split push LeBlanc build.
It was just the Gunblade.
Years ago.
Yeah.
He did go into the AP after the Gunblade, but yeah. Went for the AD early just so that, you know, Kassadin, the reason he's good, or the reason he can survive against LeBlanc is he has the spell shield on his Q. Doesn't matter if all the damage is coming from autos.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be really interesting to see. And the Colonel also favoring eStar's composition, which is how I've obviously kind of I haven't clearly said it, but I've been skirting around it of like, hey, eStar's comp makes sense. And the comps I typically favor are ones that are very straightforward and make sense. Suning's is going to be more interesting to where, okay, you have a counter pick in the top lane. I guess this LeBlanc is going to be a counter pick with the way that he's built with runes and items. And you're going to play more around aggressive counter jungling on top side through 2 winning lanes.
I love this super heavy leash we just saw out of Xiaobai here. He literally leashed the blue buff while Wei's finishing it off. Goes and starts the Gromp for him. Gives him a little bit of a bellows breath and a slam onto that one. So team player Xiaobai up in the top lane helping out his jungle here. Because he knows that he realistically can't touch the wave while Bin is there as well. But we can see the runes here for the side of Angel here on the LeBlanc with the Hail of Blades. Which again, as you rightly say, this is a specific tech into the Cassidy.
Yeah, and really interesting. So he does force the wave under turret. I want to see if he's just going to continuously push and try to enable SOFM to look for invades, or if he's going to try to set up a bounce back and make it really hard for FunFun to farm on his side of the lane.
So I want to delve into the compositions a little bit more here. Actually, I don't have time. SOFM finding a 1v1 in the jungle against Wei. We'll get a bunch of damage down, and I think he managed to grab that red buff as well. Nicely done here by SOFM. He wants a chicken on top of everything else. And I think he's going to be able to find it, because Wei does not want this fight right now. He'll be stunned. Sky Splitter comes through. We might have a solo kill in the jungle. Wei forced away on a black coat.
Yeah, overall, really good and aggressive play coming out from SOFM. Of course, Wei going for the fleet footwork rather than something like a phase rush.
Hook through from Sword Art. We've got a fight 2v2 here, but Sword Art did not win that trade.
No, but... So, overall, still Suning control the wave, but Munchballs, you were saying you want to delve into these comps. So,
yeah,
delve away.
So, my big question, like, for any viewers at home, like, you've been talking about how eStar's comp makes a lot more sense. Talk me through the win condition here. Talk me through the strategy of how you pull off this Kassadin Taric combo, because it's not something we see all too often.
True, but so when I say this composition makes sense, it's that when we get to, especially the mid game, right? We know this is a comp that's going to want to group up as 5. You have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as well as the Call of the Forge God to start up any fights. You have a great Taric ultimate for if they want to come into you, which, as we've seen, LeBlanc is this type of champion that wants to jump in, burst you down like we saw from Zika earlier today. Kassadin's going to get very tanky later on. Xiaobai's going to be extremely tanky. Graves also going to get tankier since he does have the Black Cleaver, so you're kind of nullifying the LeBlanc. The Volley Bear obviously not going to be much of a damage dealer either because he's just going to be more of a frontline threat. You have a better frontline because you have an Ornn, you have a Taric, and you have Ornn items coming out. So you're really going to be relying on Kale on the side of Suning to where eStar have 3 carries they can play through.
SOFM might just have to flash here. Xiaobai's here. We'll wait for the Searing Charge, but gets away with his life. But really good counter jungling coming out from SOFM here. Knows that the red buff is still waiting for him, so takes what he can away from Wei while he has an opportunity.
And overall, like, this was the guess that we put out, right? Hey, they have a counter in top. They technically now have a counter in mid. They're going to look for these aggressive plays through top jungle. It really seems like the only way they can play out their comp. And the way I expect it to transition to mid game is they're either going to just try to hard snowball off of that LeBlanc, or they're just betting on the fact that Kale outscales what eStar have drafted, but a Kassadin with Ornn items is still something I feel extremely confident with.
This is one of those situations where it's like, look, it doesn't necessarily matter how the early game goes if Kassadin gets enough items. Sword Art's in trouble here. Face checks into 3 people. Flashes away with his life, though. I'm kind of surprised he got away with that.
Still, though, now eStar should be able to look for... I guess they're not going to look for a dragon. It's still Angel, the one pushing in mid lane. Does have a bit of a... quite a bit of a CS lead, actually, but still... Yeah. As Kassadin, as long as you are getting EXP, I feel like that's what's the most important thing, getting to that level 6 mark.
As long as you can get yourself your Rod of Ages relatively early and you get yourself your tier, like completing those items, that'll come with time, but just getting the fundamental items that need to be stacking, that's going to be the crucial thing here. Ultimately, Angel, I love the cold start from him. Yep. Acknowledging that he has the easiest laning phase he could ever want. He has a hard counter when it comes to this Halo Blades LeBlanc. And so he's like, hey, I'm going to farm up. I'm going to grab myself an extra 200 gold.
And if any of you missed Champ Select in an earlier talk or just tuning in, this is something we have seen here in the LPL before. We saw Fofo on BLG do it.
Hang on. Finn's in trouble here. Flashes the knockup. Wei still wants to make this happen. The slow from the smoke bomb will do a lot of work here, but Finn dodges the damage, and it's just going to be a flash.
Yep, not going to force anymore. He is only level 4 against the level 6 Kale, so maybe not feeling confident to try to force out the ult, and it would waste a bit of time anyway to where he could just go and get more golden XP from clearing out his jungle.
In the meantime, SOFM gets an opportunity to get onto this dragon, and let's bear in mind, it's not Suning that we're quote-unquote meant to have priority on this bottom side of the map. When it comes to this bot lane matchup specifically, you typically give the pressure over towards Ashe. But because Wei's making a play towards the top side, gives SOFM the opportunity.
Exactly, and so this is why we're saying in the early game, we do favor Suning. They do have 2 winning matchups as compared to just 1, so are going to have more priorities to play around. And this is really going to be the time they need to try and take advantage of E-Star, which SOFM's looking to do right now.
Yeah, they're going to do exactly that. Sword Art doesn't have flash, but Dredgeline could net themselves some kills here. Xiaoxi the target. Still not going to go through, though. Xiaoxi flashed to safety, and now it's SOFM that could be in trouble. Has to ult himself away from the play.
Yeah, but now Bin is left topside, just like last game on the Jax, right? You're a Kale, you're left topside alone, you're going to be able to just farm up for free. It looks like he's going to prefer to hold the wave, which, with where it is, makes sense. Try to deny minions from Xiaobai. And overall, good read on the state of his lane. You would expect it since obviously he's a pro player and a top challenger player, but
yeah, you would hope that he's pretty good at top lane at this point since he's playing in the LPL.
And was one of the most hyped scrim players, over the past year.
And let's bear in mind, there has been quite a bit of pressure on Bin this split, because last split, he was on this roster alongside BuBu, and they were kind of splitting the time about 50-50, maybe slightly further in favor of BuBu in spring. BuBu moved away to V5, and it's like the most beneficial trade ever, because Bin has stepped up massively since BuBu left Suning, but also BuBu stepped up massively since joining V5. Both top laners have leveled up. Both teams have benefited.
So it's confirmed V5 are not only making their own team better, they are making the world a better place. So thank you, V5.
They're like the FlyQuest of the LPL, if you will, making the world a better place. Wei's in trouble, but he's not in trouble. There you go. Over to you, Lyric.
Yeah. They have Prio in the mid lane. Angel gets to come. That's what happens. But going back to kind of that discussion overall, right? It is unfortunate because Bin wasn't able to play for most of spring because he was quarantined. He was stuck in Wuhan from our understanding, so wasn't with the team. Did come over about halfway through the split. And then Suning had spent so much time playing with BuBu already, it was very hard for them to integrate him into the roster.
So we did see BuBu a lot back in spring, but now both teams feeling good off the back of the trade, and Bin has been stepping up in a massive way, especially his Wukong towards the start of the split was really the standout pick. But let's forget about the picks here, because we've got a pick onto Suning. It's Angel caught by the Ashe Arrow, nicely done by Wing, but they can't follow up on a kill. Oh no, not again. SOFM grabs himself, the Herald denies it from E-Star. SOFM will pay with his life this time, so doesn't get away with everything, and that's a first blood to cast in. That is not what you want if you're a fan of Suning. Answered though, as a pickup goes onto Wing. Now stun onto Sword Art as well. They're trying to find more for this one, and they're going to be invincible. There's no damage coming in, but hey, it looked cool.
Did anyone get the Herald? Nope.
Nope.
No Herald picked up, and yeah, E-Star finding an advantage. Kassadin massively finding. Oh my. Okay.
He needs to be careful.
He's not getting kicked. Caught out, is he? But doesn't end up going down.
So let's just talk about one thing quickly, as obviously really nice little swing there for E-Star. They get themselves a couple of kills, but ultimately the Herald is denied. The gold's still in favor of Suning. And I want to talk about that.
But overall,
save for good for teams. Up a good amount, We've got a LeBlanc that is 40 CS ahead in the mid lane. We've got a Kale that is 20 to 30 CS up in the top lane as well. 80 carries are going to be even, but even in the jungle there's a 20 CS lead. Suning are really powering ahead when it comes to just farming up and getting these items. Gunblade just got finished, by the way, on Age.
I'm not sold, Munchables. I'm not sold on the Suning comp. I need to see it in action.
So what is it that you want to see from them? Tell me how this composition works, because I'm still a little bit confused,
That's the
honestly.
point. That's the point, Munchables. That I don't really see how this is supposed to work unless they're just going to snowball through the solo lane advantages that Angel and Bin build up and then transitions into more of like a 1-3-1 style composition. But it does feel like at some point, FunFun will obviously be able to match Angel in the side lane. And then eStar just have so much engage, they're just going to be able to constantly force at neutral objectives anyway.
We'll have to see if that's going to be how it all plays out. Angel gets another trade onto FunFun. It's getting already significantly less one-sided, though, in that mid lane.
True, but so that's still where I'd expect to see Suning need to take over this game from, is just keep rotating Angel, find numbers advantage, find picks, and, you know, build up a huge gold advantage to where, you know, scaling and team fighting, all that stuff doesn't necessarily matter.
Well, Lyric, I have some good news for you. And whether
Yes.
it's for Suning or for anyone, the second Drake is Cloud, which means we will get either a Mountain or an Infernal Soul.
Infernal.
Angel's in trouble here. The Infernal Soul did go on through, dodges away from the ultimate, flashes over the wall, and Angel's out of there. That was nicely done.
That was really
I
well
feel like I was
played.
watching Civ HD.
Oh, God. That brings back some memories.
The Yukes. Well, he didn't really juke, did he?
He
to be
was
honest.
actually,
He kind of just ran away.
For a little bit, a co-owner in my old team.
Really?
Yeah.
Which team?
Machi. He had a small percentage.
I remember he
yeah.
went. Yeah.
It was a few
I
years
forgot
ago.
that happened. Hang on, we've got a fight on our hands here. FunFun jumps over the wall, gets the stun. This is exactly what we were talking about, this Kassadin-Taric combo. SOFM knocked up and finished off easily. The Xiaobai goes underneath the tower. And well, this is exactly how this E-Star composition works. Suning yet to prove how this one's meant to work out.
Yeah, exactly. And again, eStar's comp just has so many tools, right? You have so many ways of answering, like, in the game. Eventually, FunFun just going to be as strong as LeBlanc, but clearly stronger. You have a ton of engage. You have some disengage tools as well. The Taric is going to be such a nuisance in the late game for the side of Suning.
And we did talk about at the start of the series how sometimes we get a really, really strong presence from SOFM. We get to see him dictating the pace of the game, and sometimes starts to kind of suffer during the mid-game and not really know exactly what he's meant to be doing or where he's meant to be doing it. That feels like a situation there where he's the one caught out and probably didn't need to be there.
No, we did not, but I guess still, luckily for SOFM and Suning overall, is that, you know, sure, Angel has an advantage, that's expected, that's nice, but your Kale is still starting to get massive, has a 50 CS lead right now.
Yeah. I mean, that is ultimately, I fear what it's going to come down to.
I feel like that's going to be the win condition, right?
Like, we have on one side an Ezreal and a Kale that can just get massive in the late game and kite everything out forever and then, like, annihilate people. We have an invincible Kale against an invincible Kassadin.
Yeah.
Kassadin gets the Taric ult, Kale gets her own ult. Like, I don't know how to analyze that. I'm just excited to watch it. I want to see the 5v5s. Take me 20 minutes into the future.
You're making me doubt myself, Munchables. That Kale sounds pretty scary, but...
Yeah. Kale always sounds scary,
I know.
especially a few minutes into the game. A few minutes? A lot of minutes into the game.
It has been much more than a few minutes, so... Oh, but then you say invincible Kassadin.
Yeah, that's also pretty scary, right? Just Taric, man.
Yeah,
Taric's
exactly.
ult means he is always going to be at least relevant because he can always be slotted into comps like this.
Even without the ultimate, right? Just putting the W and then the E on Kassadin so he has a shield, he's able to go stun someone up as well. So you now have this mobile Kassadin that can go on your team, stun anyone, and then just burst them out.
Imagine having Kassadin's flash stun except every 2 seconds. SOFM onto FunFun here. Bin has rotated down as well, and it's Xiaoxi that will be rooted. Gets over the wall, though. FunFun escapes with his own life. E-Star maybe wanted to fight this one. Call of the Forge God.
Oh!
Bin has a stopwatch, keeps himself safe. The Sword Art comes in, and they're turning this one around. Suning go huge as Bin jumps forward, and there's a kill for Huanfeng as well. Now, a Herald. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Angel's not done? Yeah, he is.
So overall, we at least learned at this point in the game, without the Taric ultimate, eStar definitely don't win fights. But overall, that was a beautiful stopwatch coming out from Bin to avoid the stun.
Yeah, really nicely played. from the side of Bin, and able to get himself a kill as well. We always talk about these kind of hyper carries. If they can get accelerated to those items, they get online even quicker. He's already level 11.
Exactly. And one thing we knew coming in, the one thing that was clear about this composition, if they could get a snowball from their soul lanes, you know, that is always an avenue to win this game. And we're potentially looking at that right now.
We are looking at it at the opposite side as well. Kassadin is also getting pretty fed.
So let's see here. They go in with the E. Overall, does get a bit of AoE damage down first. Sordak coming in with the ultimate. Since Taric doesn't have ultimate, not really able to offer anything else. And overall, Wink is also just not here. So was a 5v4 regardless of not having that Taric ultimate available.
Well, it's an Infernal Drake in 35 seconds here, Lyric, and Suning are well aware. They are positioning around this one. TP's available for both top laners. And this would be Infernal Soul point if Suning can grab the Drake, but obviously, E-Star are not going to want to let that happen.
I feel like E-Star need to posture long enough for Xiaobai to get his ultimate. It looks like it'll come up around a similar time, so it comes up about 10 seconds after. They definitely don't want anything to happen before that Call of the Forge God is available. Their team is definitely very ultimate reliant.
Swordart gets himself a Dredge line out of there. Both supports on the top side of the map makes me think that maybe we don't see the Drake starter straight away. But Angel's cleared vision, so I think SOFM can just move in here. And a Herald in mid lane gives them the pressure to just start this one off. I think they're going to get this for free.
Yeah, Waste topside, so E-Star not going to commit to a fight until the very last second possible.
I mean, that is what you were talking about in the last game, right? Like, when you are the team that is behind, or maybe it was the game before last.
Yep, it was in the first series.
It's like when you have the composition that doesn't want to fight right now, wait until the last possible second, get as much scaling as you can before you pull the trigger on the important fight.
Yep, and obviously, it depends on what tools you have in your composition, but at least the very broad philosophies, if you fall behind on an earlier mid-game comp, right, that's when you're looking. For those big Hail Marys of like crazy plays. Don't lose your back in the game. If you're in a scaling comp like this that potentially eventually wins out, wait until, you know, they're taking something that you...
Infernal Soul.
It obviously working
through. Forces out the ultimate. Finn survives at least. Collateral damage across the team, and everyone just throwing ultimates. Let's just hit the R key, see what happens.
And the Call of the Forge God is so important for E-Star. I feel like throwing that one out for a kill that's not guaranteed is pretty not worth it.
And now Suning get to walk on forwards and grab themselves a mid-tower off the back of the not fight that we just saw. They've got a 3,000 gold lead for themselves, Lyric. And in the meantime, Xiaobai's moved down just to take a minion away from the bottom lane.
Yeah, we saw E-Star waste a bunch of ultimates, and we've already pointed out, E-Star's comp is definitely way more ult-reliant than Suning's is, especially when Suning have a LeBlanc on their team, just have a ton of damage regardless. Same with the Volibear. Obviously, his ultimate is very crucial, but not something like an Enchanted Crystal Arrow or the Taric ultimate coming out. You need those to be able to hit to win out in these fights.
So we are getting to a point in the game, though, where Suning's composition is going to come online to at least some extent. We're going to have Huanfeng. He's already on the 2 items, just waiting for that Mana Moon to become a Muramana. We've also got Angel that, even when you're going for this Gunblade build, you still spike exceptionally hard on 2 items. You can see the Lost Chapter and the Blasting Wand He's going to be hitting 2 items on his next recall. So we are getting to a point where Suning will start to be able to fight.
I mean, both teams, right? Both teams have like similar power spikes in compositions, right? Ashe and Ezreal. Ashe, I'd say, I guess, does have a stronger 1 item because you're Blade of the Ruin King user. Ezreal being more of a 2 item.
Angel is on the wrong side of this play right now, but he is on LeBlanc, so we'll see what he can get away with. And apparently, the answer is everything, as he zips over the wall once again. And every single time I get caught out by Angel. Every single time he gets away.
I mean, Munchables, I don't know if you've ever watched LeBlanc before, but that is how it works.
I've actually played it once. It was crazy, dude.
Was it?
Yeah. What an anecdote. We have a play on Fun, but he's on Kassadin, so he also can just never be caught. We're going to 1v1 between the hyper carries that aren't hyper carries yet, and it means that nothing happens. Now pushing the minion wave, Lyric.
You know, we talked about how E-Star are kind of like that third string of FPX, and now that we're seeing Fun on Kassadin, it feels like it's even more true.
Yeah. They've kind of looked at the world champion and gone, hey, let's do that. And you can't really fault him. Now playing the bottom side, everyone TPs immediately. Xiaoxi invincible, keeps himself safe here. And as the whole team for E-Star arrives, everyone backs away.
And ultimately, we set up that this Taric ultimate needs to be used so that Fun can go make aggressive plays. If it's used defensively in this manner, it feels like a lot falls apart.
Hang on, they just used Taric ultimate, and Dragon is spawned in 30 seconds, Lyric. That is bad news for E-Star.
Yeah, definitely going to need that ultimate if they want to find some kind of fight that's in their favor. Suning still have everything up. I guess they don't have the Nautilus ultimate, but that doesn't necessarily feel as crucial as Ezreal and Kale just putting out damage.
Like, ultimately, if I'm going to trade Nautilus ultimate for Taric ult on the other team, you take that trade every single time. 5 seconds until Infernal Drake spawns. This would be Infernal Soul for
E-Star
Suning.
giving it up.
How am I witnessing this? This is Infernal Soul. This is not... We were like, all right, we have a great soul. Everybody's going to contest. We're going to see fights back and forth, blah, blah, blah. No. We just see E-Star completely give up Infernal Soul. That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it.
Yeah. I'm just pretty speechless here at E-Star. I don't know if they feel like they're going to start winning eventually, but... Suning have a 4K,
so,
okay, I guess more of a 3K gold lead, but they have 2 Infernals, they have Infernal Soul, and this I mean, all of their champions are just going to hit like a truck at this point, right? If Kassadin goes in, I feel like Kassadin just gets deleted at this point.
God.
I agree with the Colonel on this one.
You know, it was pretty even, and then Infernal Soul hit, and like, you think Ezreal's annoying with just the Iceborne Gauntlet. Try an Iceborne Gauntlet that explodes every time you hit a Q. Like, you think Kale does a lot of damage? Try it with Infernal Soul. Like, everything is just insane.
And let's remember, not just Infernals, right? They obviously have 2 Infernals as well, so damage amplification as well as just, you know, those explosions coming out as well.
And here's the thing, it's not the Infernal Soul that matter. It's the fact that E-Star did nothing. It's not like they even traded for anything on the map.
They never contested 1 Drake. Never.
I'm just sad that this went so easily. SOFM didn't quite get the blue buff for himself there. Oh, he did. I don't know how I didn't see that.
Let's remember that this game, when it came to scaling, like, we weren't hard set in one way or the other, right? We were questioning it. We were pointing out both ways that each composition can work out. But when Suning have every dragon, have soul,
it's like,
it feels pretty clear cut.
Maybe the Suning composition does win by default if E-Star never do anything for the entire game.
You know? I feel like that's a pretty good
It's almost like, if you give up the entire map without ever contesting, you probably won't win the game.
You know?
I don't want to claim to be some kind of expert.
No, I feel like I figured out E-Star's approach. Do you really lose any game if you don't actually play it? So are they really losing at League of Legends, or are they not playing League of Legends?
Conceding isn't technically a loss. Flash from Finn here. Cosmic Radiance used real early in this fight. That is not good for E-Star. And Suning, they don't even have to commit to the fight now.
E-Star like that edgy kid in like high school gym class where like you're playing a sport you're trying to win, and they're just like over there like, no, I don't care.
I don't care about this sport.
They're gonna do nothing. Their team's gonna lose, but they feel cooler and edgier for it. They feel like all the girls are looking at them, but that's not how winning championships in LPL
Here's the thing. None of the girls are looking at them because there are no audiences in the arenas right now. This is not the play. Swordog got 4 knockups with his ult. Down comes the bear. I mean, there's nothing that E-Star could do here. I say that, 1 kill does go their way, but Wink just gets 2 shot by Bin here. 1 more auto when he goes down. Oh, Fun pops up though, but he's clopped by a bear. And that's going to be that. Now onto the Baron.
Obviously, that fight showed us that this is not clear-cut at all, like who wins in terms of scaling, because holy Fun doing so much damage with his ultimate.
Fun.
Holy Fun. But at the end of the day, the Infernal Soul Kale Ezreal team does come out on top.
Well, the Baron, if an Infernal Soul was not enough, now a Baron on top of it. Suning, it may not have been the cleanest team fight ever, but you know what? They still get an advantage. They still get more gold. They still get more objectives. And now they can start to take some towers.
And this was interesting because you pointed out Swordart finding like a really good knockup flash, knockup onto 3 to 4 people. A ton of AoE coming out from the side of Suning. I'm trying to keep my eyes on Fun because it feels like he's the one who deals a lot of this damage. Wink as well, doing a lot with his autos, but Fun ultimately with those ultimates, just dealing so much AoE.
He just annihilated both solo laners simultaneously in that fight. Which, well played by Fun ultimately, but wasn't quite enough to win out the fight here. And this is kind of what we were talking about, how like the win conditions are very singular for these two teams in the fights. Like Fun has to win the fight. Bin has to win the fight. That is how these compositions function. Sordart's got a face check here. He will be stunned, as is Bin. Knock up onto both of them. Bin just about gets his ult off, and now the fight turns around, but Fun's on the back line and Bin falls. Wei trying to get out with his life. Angel finally arriving. There goes 2 of them, but Suning are losing this one. Knock up across the team. In goes SOFM, but he doesn't have the damage to take down a Kassadin. And Fun gets more kills in his pocket now.
Are we really going to see an Infernal Soul Kale team lose?
I don't know. I'm not really sure at this point, Lyric, but you know what? I'm buckled in and I'm ready for the ride that this game is about to give us.
I feel like we all are. I don't think this was ever about win conditions or analysis.
Yeah.
This was about seeing how whatever Suning put together with the Kale works out into E-Stars comp. And
you know what?
I don't think we're actually finding a clear answer.
We're getting a really LPL day today, aren't
Yes,
we?
we
Our
are.
first series was incredibly LPL. Now we're going to see the exact same thing here. And I mean, great engage, honestly, from E-Star. This is really well set up.
Yeah, and this was Suning face checking, right? So even Bin getting extremely low to start off. He was like 20% HP by the time Fun got into the fight. And now it's just, okay, we have this Kassadin that is fed, that has scaled up, doing so much damage. On the side of Suning, it really is all about Kale. I mean, Huanfeng as well has the potential to be a force in these fights, but obviously you're never just going to be able to get away from the Kassadin. And he's 4-1-4.
Yeah. This is the thing, right? Fun is now massive. He's already finished his Seraphs. He's stacked his Rod of Ages that we were talking about. That's a lot of damage out of Angel. He's certainly no slouch either. We got 5 seconds until an Elder Dragon. This could be the moment where E-Star turn things around.
I mean, the game is going to be decided right here and right now, Munch.
Let's find out who gets it. Bin DPSing the hell out of this Drake. They might just get it before there's any contest coming on through. They're going to stop DPS here. In comes Xiaoxi with the ulti, keeping everyone safe. It's taken by E-Star. They might have just won the game. Now onto the rest of Suning as they annihilate their health bars. Bin with an ultimate, but you can't escape the Kassadin. Down he goes. A double for Fun. And E-Star have somehow pulled this off.
Munchables, that made no sense to me. We actually saw Suning get the dragon that low and then just back off when all of E-Star walk up and throw down Taric ultimate. Like, hey, sure, you guys can have that dragon. We'll posture for a better fight afterwards. That makes no sense.
You don't get a better fight when they've got Elder Dragon. Infernal Soul with the weight of Suning with basically no contest. See you later, Xiaoxi, by the way. But actually, is that enough? Maybe they can stop them ending.
I'm actually
All right, nicely done, Angel. Once again, Angel is the standout for Suning.
Ah, Munchables, I don't understand what is happening this game.
Does anyone?
So they use Tark until they walk forward. Everyone from Suning backs off. Everyone. They don't keep anyone close to try to get a smite. SOFM does his best, but still, now all of the members of E-Star just run forward. We had a really great Taric ultimate, and
I don't know if you saw that, but Angel, as soon as the dragon's gone down, is like, all right, guys, I'll see you later. Goes down to bot lane and just starts recalling. He's like, I'm not even going to try. Like, this fight is over.
mean, we talked about earlier in the day, the power of friendship is what wins games. So that could be the reason Suning are losing.
Are you saying they're not good enough friends?
Potentially.
I don't know. They look like they were pretty good friends when we were looking at them on the cameras earlier. They were all laughing together, memeing around during Champions Select. Maybe they're regretting the memeing around a little bit now.
I just want to say, I like how we discussed about E-Star waiting till the moment they needed to fight. We were criticizing them all game long about giving up all these dragons, and they come out with the big brain of like, hey, we never needed the dragons. It's not about Caston or Kale. It's just, hey, their comp is way more coherent and makes way more sense. But still, man, this is back and forth.
Oh, Wanfeng gets caught, but he has QSS. Knock up out of Xiaobai as well. That's a couple of ults used by E-Star, but I mean, they still have Elder Drake, so there's no way that Suning actually fights them.
I mean, Caston is also full build if he's just going to upgrade his Dark Seal to Medjai's.
Well, that would mean he's not still full build, because he hasn't upgraded that to a Medjai's.
Okay, he's right at the precipice of full
That's
build.
like saying someone's full build because they have 6 ruby crystals and they're only going to build health items.
That is not the same at all.
It's basically the same.
That is nowhere
thing.
close to the same thing. You know, we deserve to call him full build because he has an Ornn upgrade
Look
as well.
at that gold swing. That is insane. Right now, Fun. I mean, whether he's full build or not, he's still late game Caston, and that is realistically all that matters. Angel, you remember when you were winning those trades earlier in the game?
No way now.
You don't get to do that anymore. Fun knows it. He realizes, though, well, actually, to be honest, I think he could have won even 1v3 there. He's got to that kind of Caston.
He definitely wouldn't have won, but I don't think he would have died. So I guess it depends on how you're going to justify a win in a 1v3.
I would have said that he probably could have just won, by all definitions. If he dodges the CC.
Wow. I like how Angel thought he wanted to go in, and then Fun obviously just going to ult forward. Realized, no, he doesn't.
I think that's the right decision. I don't think going in onto Fun is the play. But let's just, like, clarify one thing here. As the Baron is started by E-Star. If Fun oversteps, it is still very winnable for Suning here. They still have insane damage. They still have a Kale. Like, we have the 2 insane hyper carries in the same game here. One on either side. This could go either way.
Yep, we have seen that E-Star.
Fun in trouble, but Taric ult's still available. That's a stun onto Sword Art, and he just gets annihilated. Now onto the rest of the team. I take it back. This one is over. SOFM going to be the next one to fall as Angel is chased down by Fun. There is no escaping this Kassadin. There's no way you can run Suning. And now into the base go E-Star. Lyric, we're going to 3 games. We're going to the full series here, and E-Star pulling this one out of the bag.
Yep, and we have found out an invincible Kassadin beats an invincible Kale.
That we did. We're going to 6 games here today, Lyric. And you know what? It couldn't have gone any other way. I was thinking maybe Suning could take this one, but the draft definitely going the way of E-Star. And when Kassadin gets to do Kassadin things, this is what happens.
I mean, and just overall, right? Because when it came to scaling, we were a bit hazy. But when it came to how the composition, which composition was more, you know, cohesive, exactly. We knew that was plainly on the side of E-Star. It got a bit rough when we saw early on. It was hard for them to coordinate the Taric ultimates with the team fights. Like, we'd always see it either used too early or someone would already get picked off by the time it was up or something along those lines. But in these, like, late game fights, they had Taric ultimate up, they had a Kassadin, they threw that down, he jumped forward, and guess what? He would kill everyone before Kale got to kill anyone. So
it very much felt like that Bin on this Kale during the team fights didn't get any opportunity to really unleash his damage. And that is ultimately the weakness of Kale, is if they aren't grouped, if you can't stand an auto, you don't get to do anything. Kassadin in a scattered fight, that's his dream.
Their whole team had to run away, right? It's not, he didn't get to stand there and fight because his whole team constantly had to run away from the Fed Kassadin. So yeah, that was an interesting game to see. And I did tell you before the day started, we'd have 6 games. And we had 6 games. I'm just saying,
you're right.
Like, the LPL must be scripted by someone because you can just look at the schedule and be like, okay, this is going to be a 4-0 day, this is going to be a 6-game day.
We never have 4-0 days. There are like barely any 4-0 days.
We don't have
honestly.
any 4-0 days, but
it always goes to 3 games, and we're seeing all 6 here today. And they have been so LPL. These series have been so back and forth, and just battle after battle. I'm loving these late game team fights that we're consistently seeing as well. I feel like we've had so many players just getting to flex their muscles today.
we got something out of this one. I mean, that early game was, I was not sold on either side. We saw Suning trying to be the ones to make aggressive moves, right? They were winning in mid and top. But we also saw SOFM just kind of making mistakes and dying like at objectives on the side of E-Star. Then it just got to a point like, okay, maybe E-Star can snowball off the advantage in their soul lanes. But despite getting Infernal Soul, E-Star just showed, no, we'll just fight you at Elder. We have casted and we win, and I guess that's how League of Legends works.
I really feel like if Suning just committed to the Elder Dragon, they probably would have just won this game. Like, I mean, look at that gold grab. That is insane. Like, that is a 4,000 or 5,000 gold swing right there at the, 28-minute mark or something. Like, ultimately, that was the moment where Elder happened. If Suning had just committed to that last 2k of damage and gone for a 50-50 smite, I think they probably could have won the game. But the fact that they backed away after getting it to 2k, like, did they expect E-Star not to damage the dragon?
I mean, that's the worst part, right, is that I don't feel like we even got a chance to see what would happen if Suning's comp fought with that gold lead, because they just walked away. And then E-Star have Elder, and now it's like, okay, well, E-Star definitely going to win. They have Elder. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was something. But hey, if you're an E-Star fan, congrats.
Yeah, E-Star managed to get themselves a game win here. They're 2-6 in the standings right now. They need these wins. And based on that game, they could win the series. We'll have to wait and see after the break. But man, Suning needs to get it together. The draft was a little bit all over the place, and we got to see that exemplified in the game as well. We'll see if they can pull things together right after this.
但后续有这边宝石的奶不断的在奶，正面的话是给到了航是没有等到宇宙光辉就已经阵亡，可是另一边还有一道宇宙光辉，2道下来，旁边的3个关键的队友沐浴到了这波无敌的光芒，在旁边的话 Zeka 好像是一个 E 技能直接反手E进了场地，开启了一个峡阵，就在等 Wink 什么时候出来，这一个反手的2段表里杀缭乱，配合乐言击杀掉了 Wink 跟小 C。
然后E-Star就是看一下怎么样尽力抢下这条龙了，
硬抢，但是没抢到，这边是直接接了灯笼走开了个小鬼是白甲，这边 Cube 已经进场了，直接被铁男一关到了米奇妙曼屋里面，然后在这波小白鹿高追击 Cube 的话，那明显是会走入到对方的一个阵型之中，这边的话直接是大招时间结束，旁边的话 Wink 闪现躲掉了 Zeka 致命的一推之后，但这边沐浴了宝石光辉的5元。红色方的将领已经是要把这波团战给结束了。这边 Zeka 因为自己位置太差，到最后是被小 C 幽冥剑矛碰死。但是后续的话 ，iBoy 跟航还能继续打。这边 iBoy 直接稍微一拔毛，还在6，而旁边 Wink 跟小威接连倒下。就这个不稳定，就是高跟低还是得看纷的技能。正面的话还是想逮 Zeka 这边有一个峡阵，旁边扫描扫了一堆的红影出来 ，Zeka 也很耐心，直接2段的表里杀缭乱出手，但是被一个水晶剑命中了之后，后续的话航的奶量好足啊，而且这边还有一个秒表的存在，哇，这一波使尽了浑身解数，没能击杀掉这个我留忍者。那后续的话，蓝色方在阵型之中已经击杀掉了威，小白也是强弩之末，后续 iBoy 进场收割秀了呀，甚至是宝石拿下了双杀。那站位依然是对这条土龙有想法，这一波如果打Maple 直接正面被一剑逼出了闪现。旁边卡萨直接闪现上龙坑，给到了一个柱子，柱住了 Maple 后面所有的一个车队路线。但是正面的话，预言家这个大头给完了之后，后续好像跟不太上。这个闪现下龙坑万箭齐发，直接一波无解的输出，带走了上面的熊熊。而且后续 Night 还给了一个英雄登场掩护 Jack It Off。阿水这个输出的角度找得到 LNG 众人，实在没有意想得到。后续转画面一转回来是由这边 E-Star 先行拿下了这个火龙，后续的话这边乐言进场，乐言是第一时间被盯了一下，乐言直接倒地，但是后续的话 Cube 这一掌直接如来神掌把4人拍上墙，哦呦这一波直接把 E-Star 的众人 Wink 小 C 全拍碎在了墙上。
The sun is high, but I wish I could bathe in the moonlight. Ooh, this is it now. Come out of the shadow. Make the walls fall. Memory is headed for disaster. Heart is beating slow. I hear the words, I see the ghost of laughter in the afterglow. This is it now, come out of the shadow. This is it now, come out of the shadow. I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound. 'Cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground. My feet won't touch the ground.
We are back once more for the 6th time today as we jump into the final game of our day at Suning against E-Star. We had a full 3 games in our first series, and it has been all LPL all day. I'm Munchables, this is Lyric. We're going to game 3, Lyric, as it had to be.
Yes, we are, and you know, who cares about being tired or having a long day when we have exciting LPL League of Legends monster
I'm not
rules?
tired.
And
I've had so much energy drink that
You-
I am bouncing off
that
the
is actually
walls.
true.
There is no
he's a
such
stud.
thing as tiredness in my dictionary right now. I am a little worried that I'm going to miss the last train home, but we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed they draft early game compositions. Pray for me, ladies and gentlemen. But let's talk about what on earth happened in game number 2. Fun is the MVP. I mean, obviously, he one-shot everyone.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say about that.
You played Kassadin. We went late game. You also had a Taric, and
Which helps.
also at some point, Suning just decided they didn't even want to compete for the victory. So all of those things mixed together added up to a fun MVP. And
A
here's-
very fun
Yeah.
MVP.
And here's where we actually saw Sword Art and Bin face checking into E-Star. So, you know, when you face check, it is a bit rough, but ultimately coming out ahead. Oh, wait, I got that wrong. It was Suning face checking. Oh, wait, no, I said that.
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. That was so long.
It was.
But this was the ultimate Elder Drake play where we see E-Star open with the Taric ultimate, walk in, and Suning gets scared, which I can understand, right? You could lose that team fight, but the fact that you're not even going to contest to get the smite on the
They
dragon.
didn't lose the team fight. They didn't team fight. That was the problem. They just ran away.
They would have lost the team fight most likely. I can agree with that, but if you give up the Elder, you're going to lose the team fight for sure. So,
Yeah. And it was... I don't know what they expected. Like, if you're not going to go for the team fight, like, did they expect that E-Star was not going to contest? I don't think that was a very realistic possibility. I don't know. I don't want to keep flaming the teams.
My guess is they thought, okay, well, you know, they're coming with Tark Ultimate. We can't actually fight them with this. We don't want to compete for Smite. Let's just back off and, you know, wait out Elder since we still have, you know, permanent Infernal Soul. But at the same time, SOFM did stay in the pit and did himself try to get the Smite. Just everyone else backed off. So I guess I'm wrong. I guess as
Angel
a team,
kind of stuck around as well.
Yeah.
And then just was like, all right, see you later.
he was
guys.
like
I'm
moral
outta here."
support, and then it was like, peace out, boys. And then
I'm a recall in this bush. They're going to chase you. It's all good. See you later. Anyway, we're jumping into game 3 here. We're back on stage. And suddenly, Suning aren't giggling quite as much as they were in the draft of game. No, I'm wrong. Suning is still giggling.
Munchables, you thought.
Ah, dear. Well, maybe Suning are confident. It feels like Suning are pretty confident.
Hey, Munchables. Earlier we talked about that Suning potentially sold their soul for the LGD win. And this could be payment. This could be payment, right?
This could be payment.
You beat a top team, you lose to a bottom team. That's how it works.
You told me that the voodoo would last until the finals against Top Esports.
I was guessing potentially. I expected today for this to happen, but, you know.
Oh, you have been the prophet so far this split. Although you're not winning in predictions anymore.
It's because I gamble on teams like RNG. You guys have saved. Like, even this week, I'm gambling on FPX. You guys are betting on Top Esports.
Yeah, that's because
What
Top
a
Esports
boring
are going to win.
prediction.
Dude, I've been betting on Top Esports since the start of spring. Since before they had Jackie Love, okay?
You were ridiculous at that point, but
hey, I was right.
Coming
That's all
into
that
draft,
matters.
we are seeing Suning going back to banning out kind of non-interactive champions. They're also now on the blue side. Fun set taken away. E-Star still going to show some respect towards Angel. Now I just wonder if they're going to ban out the Syndra once again.
Aphelios is still up as well. So there's a few priorities. Also Nidalee, which has been banned a lot today, available. We'll see what E-Star are going to go for in the ban phase here. Neither of these junglers has played a single game of Nidalee this split, so it doesn't surprise me that much to see it just left alone. And with Aphelios open, SOFM still wants to prioritize his Grapes.
Let's remember, Suning could have taken this last game, right? Suning were on red side. E-Star didn't first pick it. E-Star first picked Ashe, and they instead opted into Ezreal Volibear. So maybe just saying, hey, red side, who cares? We'll be back to blue if we lose a game too, and they feel comfortable getting a good draft once again. And I'm glad to see from E-Star, unlike game 1, that we're actually going to get Aphelios.
Yeah, I feel like this is almost a bait from Suning saying, hey, we know how much you want that Ashe. Why not lock it in now? Because let's bear in mind, Huanfeng has 9 games on the Aphelios. He would have loved to have that in his pocket, but instead it goes over the way of E-Star.
But that's not necessarily true, because it was open game 1, and instead he still opted for the Ezreal. But still, I'm glad we're seeing it this time regardless, because it is still super strong. I don't understand why you wouldn't pick it up. And Wei going back towards that Lee Sin, which, you know, I know we have LCK watchers today. 60% win rate here in the LPL. Yeah. We don't do results-based analysis, but of course we do. That champion wins.
And 72% for Leona. So if we're going by a results-based analysis, good game, Suning. You've done it. 72%. This one's in the bag. That's
but
obviously
going for the same comp as game 1.
Yeah, that's very true. Sword Art looked great on the Leona as well. I mean, let's be honest, game number 1, Suning just stomped E-Star, so why not go back to what worked, right?
But E-Star obviously changed it up completely, right? Because E-Star were playing this Ashe Morgana, taking a bunch of plates in bot style of gameplay. This time, Xiaoxi on that Thresh, which is obviously by far his best champion, is going to have this consistent late game DPS in the Aphelios. And Wei once again on the Lee Sin, which despite losing game 1, he looked pretty good.
And let's bear in mind, he's playing up against Sword Art. We talked about it right at the start of the day. This is the 2 LMS support. Sword Art literally trained Xiaoxi to be his own replacement back in the LMS. And we'll see with Xiaoxi having that signature champion for both of them. See what he can do in this game. But as we move towards the bans here, the Jack's been respected, taken away from Bin. That's what Bin did in game number 1, and he looked amazing on it.
Well, and it's just good against both Volibear and Wukong. So 2 champions we do expect to see Xiaobai go towards, right? Going to be the Volibear, the Wukong, or the Mordekaiser. So obviously signaling they want. I'm going to guess that Volibear, because like I said, Xiaobai is spamming that in solo queue, but does leave the potential for a Wukong open as well. No, we haven't really seen as much Wukong lately.
No, we haven't seen any Wukong at all today, even in the bans, which is kind of crazy. Especially with these 2 top laners, like Xiaobai with 7 games of Wukong, Bin with 4 games of Wukong. It's really surprising that we don't see it. Did it get nerfed? I don't think it did.
Nope. the Bear banned out. So now, I still expect to see eStar go towards the top laner.
Well,
Okay,
actually, with Ornn banned away, and Volibear banned away, and Jax banned away, and Jace banned away, like, maybe Wukong comes into the fold at that point, because we've lost a lot of top laners.
I just said that like 2 minutes ago.
Well, I'm saying it again.
Thank you for reassuring me, though, because, you know, now I feel really confident.
Yeah. You can always rely on me for the solid analysis, Lyric. I'll come to you for witty remarks and whatnot.
Does Suning pick Orianna once again?
Yes, is the answer.
Let's...
Analysis.
Whoa.
Oh, 65%. They've got a 70% pick. Oh, my God. The win rates are looking good. There is a Kassadin hover right now for eStar, which, after game 1, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just go for that anyway, but it's not the same matchup. They do not have the same potential with a Kassadin. They don't have a Taric.
I really want to see where Fun goes, because, okay, this is actually really surprising. Because this has not been the style of mid laner that eStar play through this split. They don't play through this, like, aggressive, skirmishing, assassin-based mid lane. Even Kassadin, sure it's an assassin, but it's clearly a scaling pick, right? LeBlanc is someone who wants to be more active on the map.
I mean, let's just take a second and talk through the top picks for Fun this split. You got Galio, you've got Set, Zoe, Karma, Twisted Fate, Rumble, all things that just want to shove the wave and get out of mid lane. Like, this is not the style of pick that we see out of Fun.
Yeah, but this game, once again, will just be about explosive team fights, right? Both teams want a team fight on both sides. Obviously, eStar is more mid-jungle oriented than probably into the bot lane, since you do have that Thresh. And for the side of Suning, there is obviously going to be more patience. You do have an Orianna, you have a Graves. Your only potential pressure point is in the top side with the Renekton.
But it does feel like Suning, once again, similarly to game number 1, have a ton of potential to snowball this game. When you look at the power that they have in those lanes with things like the Orianna, things like the Renekton, heavy lane bullies that, if they can find an advantage, will really run away with things.
Yeah, but still, they are definitely on the more scaling side. The Renekton is going to be a big pressure point that they could play through, and it'd be interesting for them to play through as well, right? Because we actually don't see... We see some games where Suning dedicate a lot of resources towards top, but I'd say mostly it is towards the mid and bot lane for Suning.
So game number 1 of this series, we saw Wei on the Lee Sin, and he looked damn good. He was easily the best player on eStar in the first game of the series, and now with a very similar draft, I'm expecting Wei to step up once more. In this matchup against SOFM, the Graves versus the Lee Sin is what you guys at home have got to keep your eyes on. Over to you, Lyric.
I was enjoying the sounds of getting onto Summoner's Rift, but now,
brings back memories of yesterday when I played.
It brings back memories of, you know, Season 3 NALCS. But
does it?
No, it doesn't.
Which game specifically? Was that when Renegades lost to the Herald and bot lane tower?
That was not Season 3, but...
I don't know what season that was.
But Suning actually favored pretty much at all points in this game, which is pretty surprising to me.
According to the Colonel, at least.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I would say I like Suning's composition more. I really like the AoE damage we have coming out from the Graves and Orianna. I mean, even the Renekton, right? So pretty much in these clumped up 5v5s, I feel really good for the side of Suning. Sure, I guess you have a similar thing in the vein of where Wukong jumps in, uses a Cyclone. Fun tries to dive in as well, then Wink throws a very good Moonlight Vigil, but Suning definitely has more burst coming out of their composition as well as, you know, a really strong front line in the Leon and the Renekton. And Wink, once again, being this player who goes for the lethal tempo of Aphelios. It's really the only one I see.
That's a bit of a weird one.
Exactly. I don't think we see anyone else do it here in the LPL. We saw him do it the other day as well.
Did we? I missed that, I think.
Then he lost on it, and then we saw the other team pick it and go Conquer, which I don't...
Which is the rune that everyone goes.
Exactly. I would assume Conquer is more DPS, and obviously just the healing it adds as well. I feel like it would be an all-around better rune.
I guess you do go for 2 Zeal items. So the lethal tempo does get a lot of value in terms of the attack speed it offers. With the right weapons, it can be effective. The key thing, though, is your Crescendum is not affected by attack speed, which is often the best DPS weapon for Aphelios. So I don't know if tempo is really worth it when that's ultimately the weapon that you want to be using during the team fights. And
I'm gonna
tempo
guess,
is a rune that you run for team fights. So
I'm going
it
to
doesn't
guess
seem
most
that
pros agree with you since we don't really see it all too often.
But I guess there is an argument to be made that at least it kind of shores up the weakness of, hey, I'm team fighting and I don't have the right weapons. At least I still do damage. And during early trades.
Exactly. I was going to say it's at least a lot more useful, obviously, in the laning phase, since you don't have to stack it up like Conqueror. It's going to take time for you to get there. Just going to get that immediate benefit out of the attack speed.
Xiaobai is not going to have a fun time in this lineup in the top lane, though, because we've seen the battle of the zoo up in the top lane, the monkey against the croc. It is very croc-favored, as you'd expect. Monkeys and crocodiles, every time they fight on the Nature Channel, it always goes the way of the croc.
Is that true? I mean, I guess if it's a small monkey,
I mean,
but
think about it, right? Even a big monkey. I guess gorilla versus alligator would be pretty
I feel
cool
like
to watch.
gorilla is, yeah.
But if it's like...
Ooh, hook.
There's
Okay,
the hook.
gorilla versus alligator, keep going.
So, like, here's the thing, right? I feel like if the gorilla is coming at it from the side, Wei's going in the bot lane. Hongfeng's in trouble here. Has to use the heal. Wei gets out of there. So the gorilla, if he comes in from the side,
yeah,
like, if he can grab and pick up the croc, he's going to obviously win. But crocodiles, apparently...
super fast.
The jaw, when it's closing, is like one of the strongest muscles of any animal in the world. But if you can hold the jaw closed, like the muscle to open the jaw again is really weak.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't know that.
It depends on the first bite. And if they're in water, we all know about alligator
I guess
death rolls.
It would depend, because alligators are extremely fast, so if it can get that bite down, maybe it wins. But I guess if the gorilla is prepared, if it can anticipate the alligator's win conditions, then it comes out ahead.
It really, I mean, a lot of it will come down to the draft, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Depends where they've spec'd their points as they grew up in the animal kingdom. Speaking of the animal kingdom, we're in the jungle right now. And SRFM wants to be the king of the jungle, but Wei wants to contest for that title right now. SRFM forced to flash.
I just love how decisive Xiaoxi is with these plays. Just flashing into the brush, throwing out the hook right away. Not even a second of hesitation.
He was taught by the best. That's what you expect out of him. On this. I mean, ultimately, like, memes aside, Xiaoxi, literally, the reason that people are hyped on him was Thresh and the Blitzcrank. Those are the picks that really made his name back in Spring.
He was the best support in Spring. Like, he was the best player on his team by far. Sure, Kryne was very good as well. I'd say Kryne was that other counterpart, but...
Xiaobai is in trouble here. Ruthless Predator. Bin has flash. He's going to go for the dive and the solo kill. The Croc wins the fight.
Yep, and Bin coming in, getting this Renekton, looking extremely strong, and just showing us why you opt into this matchup.
And we talked about if the alligator has the speed, he gets the first bite. That's exactly what we saw. Bringing down the monkey. It wasn't even in the jungle.
Yep, you guys do not need to watch any, Animal Channel
Turn
type
off
things.
Planet Earth.
Exactly.
Focus on the LPL.
Me and Munchables are here to guide you on this animal journey. I mean, that's really the only animals on Summoner's Rift right now, but...
Is there any famous American nature people? I can be David Attenborough. Do you have a comparable...
Animal nature people.
I don't know what they're called.
I
feel like I'm maybe not qualified for this.
I don't either. I know none. I feel like the only the only animal person that was even ever famous in the United States was obviously Steve Irwin. But I mean, I was gonna say, but by the fact of how popular he is, can we claim him for ourselves?
Crocodile Dundee.
Is he popular in Australia? That's my question.
Yes.
I'm just saying because Wilfred, the TV show, came from Australia, and every Australian I've met hates that show, but I love it.
I mean, that's kind of a different topic
entirely. No, it's not. The topic is, do Australians like products coming out from Australia?
Steve Irwin is a goddamn national treasure to Australia. I don't know if you've seen Australia's about Steve Irwin. They talk about the guy like he is their own father. Like, I think you're seriously underestimating how important to Australia Steve Irwin was.
I've never talked to hysterics about Steve Irwin, so...
I guarantee he'll back me up on this. All right. Let's reset here. Let's talk about the real jungle. And I'm not talking about the real jungle. I'm talking about the real League of Legends jungle. SOFM stealing away a red buff. In the meantime, Wei is maybe looking for a dive.
Well, exactly. So both teams just playing around their strong sides right now. And I'm actually really surprised how many turret plates. I guess Wei has been down here the whole time. Oh, Fun actually getting a pretty good trade. Which, again, this is not a champion we'd associate with him. Muchos, we're just moving all over the map.
We really are. There's a lot going on. Despite the lack of kills, it feels like kind of a weird one here. As this tower is exceptionally low. And this is the issue with Drakton and Ezreal. Kick onto both of them. Beautifully done. Sword Art, though, is very tanky. And it means Xiaoxi has to back away. Fun now coming in, but the teleport is here. Huanfeng survives. And somehow Xiaoxi went down. Sword Art with a solo kill. I guess.
I don't know how. I'm just surprised
What's happened?
I'm just surprised Fun all in on Sword Art rather than Huanfeng. But yeah, Sword Art, nice solo kill.
It felt like a closest target kind of deal, but maybe that wasn't the best play because it's Leona. Beyond level 3, she was real tanky.
I mean, again, he could have mimicked his distortion and probably at least forced out the flash from Huanfeng.
Oh, Fun moves in. I guess he was just trying to spot whether it was happening. They kind of knew it was happening, though. And that is going to be SOFM. Not only does he get the Herald, but he even gets the Eye of the Herald.
I mean,
what a bonus.
I know. We don't actually see this too often here in the LPL, but ultimately a massive win for Suning in the fact that they literally just went out on their strong side and weak side, right? They got kills in the bot lane. They haven't lost turret yet, but it's going to be a matter of time now. They're going to pick that up in a few minutes. And they get the Herald. So Suning coming out way ahead.
And Bin, in the meantime, just gets a ton of tower plates to the top side. Just going to be able to just queue this wave if he wants to finish it all off. Xiaobai falling really far behind in that matchup. 30 CS down. Same can be said in the bottom lane, though. And let's just talk about the fact that almost every tower plate is gone already in the bottom lane with no heralds or anything. That is just Wink and Xiaoxi hardcore winning lane.
But also with Wei constantly hovering. But yeah, it is definitely coming down to that lane matchup. And this is why in Game 1, we said we didn't like the spot lane duo. We weren't a fan of it. Like, we don't really see teams picking Ezreal here anymore.
Even with the matchup, like, I don't think you're meant to have lost almost all 5 plates in 10 minutes. Just on the 2v2 alone.
Nope.
This does not... Like, I've seen this matchup before. It was not this one side.
I remember one of my supports on a former team told me that, you know, if you lose a turret, like around 10 minutes into just a straight-up lane, that is just human error.
I can respect that.
Yeah, it was a really respectable guy.
Unless it's Faker that loses the turret, and then it's inhuman error. Because the guy's inhuman.
But speaking
it's
of
not relevant,
humans,
but there you go.
Not potential errors, I want to see Suning drop this Herald mid, but not sure if we'll actually get it.
It's
Wei covering.
Kind of hard to find the opportunity, especially with Wei focusing around this part of the map right now. The rest of E-Star making moves because Dragon's up in a minute and they want control of the air.
Actually, maybe even dropping it for Huanfeng might be fine just for the fact of how far behind he is and getting him back into the game because, I mean, right now, sure, we have a Fed Renekton versus a Fed Aphelios, but I'll take the Fed Aphelios every single time. Every single time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Except unless it's Morgan on the Renekton, then I'll take the Renekton. Because Morgan's the best player in the world.
True, he is definitely the best wrestler in the world, but...
Well, will be, anyway.
Will be, yeah.
We'll get to that in a couple of years. But one thing I will say is, when it comes to trying to drop a Herald in the bottom lane, okay, they are just going to go for the mid lane in the end.
To drop it in the bottom lane, you probably would have needed some bot pressure.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, how do you actually ever push the wave enough to make that happen? They're just going to give it over to Angel, get himself a bit of gold, which you're perfectly happy with. Orianna is going to scale exceptionally well.
And Bin actually is rotated over. He obviously had priority in the top side, so Suning should be able to take this Dragon uncontested. Xiaobai still doesn't have TP up, but it looks like it should be up in the next, like, 20 seconds. Oh, they're just going to give it up.
Suning have been well and truly in charge of the Dragons this series. Like, game number 1, they just had the lead the whole time. Game number 2, E-Star was just not interested in any way.
Yep.
Game number 3, E-Star got the first Dragon, but Suning now just wander on in, no contest whatsoever from E-Star. I'm kind of surprised they didn't contest. They've controlled bot lane the entire game, but they moved their top laners, they moved their bot laners up to the top side of the map instead.
Yep, and it makes sense, right? E-Star are the ones who kind of control the lane assignment. Since they were able to take that bot lane turret, they're going to send their bot lane up top, and Suning have to do so in response as well, so they don't end up losing out on too much. Also trying to, you know, extend the game to a point to where they outscale. If you do just end up trading sides in this situation, you're both just accelerating the state of the game, which Suning definitely don't want to do, right? Suning want that time to get that Orianna up to be big and strong. Same with the Graves and the Ezreal. And hopefully find a combo like they did in Game 1 where, you know, you land a great shockwave into a great ultimate from SOFM and suddenly like 3 members of E-Stars are just gone.
We'll see if Suning will ever find that opportunity, because right now it definitely feels E-Star favored. Not necessarily in terms of a specific lead in terms of the overall gold. As you can see, we're pretty much even right now, but it's where that gold is going. The fact that they have so much gold on an Aphelios right now, the fact that Huanfeng has been struggling so much, it kind of surprises me, honestly, that Suning prioritized this lane matchup, especially when the Ashe was available. Like, they have played a ton of Ashe in the past, and it's worked wonderfully.
I mean, again, they've prioritized Ezreal now over Aphelios in one game and Ashe in another. So, yeah, definitely interesting to see. The good thing for Suning is the fact that Renekton will be able to constantly clear out the wave and at least rotate first. So that's a way they can at least try to, not necessarily push an advantage, but at least make sure they don't lose out on the top side of the map.
Well, the Herald is going to come up shortly, and Suning are well aware of that fact. In fact, Herald's not even up shortly.
It is now.
Now it's going to be up shortly. We've got a hook, though, going onto Sword Art. He's got himself a stopwatch, so keep himself safe. And he is damn tanky, but in comes Xiaobai with a knockup. Sword Art somehow survived all of that. And now Bin's coming in from the backside. Collateral damage onto everyone. Huanfeng is alone, but he's okay. He's Ezreal. Xiaoxi goes down. Shockwave onto everyone. What a fight out of Suning. And now underneath the tower they go. Fun barely gets away with his life.
And one AoE combo is all it took, Munch. That's what we were talking about. Can they get in there? Renekton Dominus, slice and dice in, Orianna ultimate with the collateral damage coming out from SOFM. They do. Suddenly members of E-Star just disappear off your screens.
That is beautiful from the side of Suning. And this is the kind of team fighting that you want to see an Orianna in, because when they group up like that and you get a shockwave, it just feels so good.
At first, it started to look so good for E-Star for the fact that, look at Huanfeng, he's almost out of mana. Xiaobai gets in there with the Cyclone, does almost get the kill, but doesn't, has to back off at the last second. And now Bin having a really good position, as well as SOFM. They both flash in there. Wei actually gets the kick on Bin out, but it doesn't matter because Angel hits a massive shockwave.
So beautifully done here by Suning. Angel, not only with that massive shockwave, actually had heal because of his spellbook, so he saved Sword Art's life in the fight as well. Then turns around and gets a huge shockwave, pretty much single-handedly winning that fight for his team. And Huanfeng, great positioning as well, trying to bait them in, but managing to survive on the fight, Eing out as well.
I feel like baiting them in is kind of like a generous use of language here. I mean,
Huanfeng, look juicy. Try and get.
I feel like Huanfeng had no other option. It's like, do you sit under turret or do you like try and posture in a way that you can throw out some Qs? Well, but you know what? We'll give him that.
He did the latter.
We'll say he baited it. I'm willing to you know, give some praise and be a little bit positive at least.
That's what we want, Lyric. A little bit of positivity in the LPL. Especially when we've got teams like this that just want to fight.
And I feel positive, like Game 1, that Suning have the superior scaling in a sense, right? I'd say overall they do, but once again, E-Star have an Aphelios, which we've mentioned many times is always a win condition in its own right, but Suning having superior scaling overall, they're already picking up a massive gold lead. They're obviously going to expand that here as well. And we also are working our way towards an Ocean Soul, which is a dragon both teams obviously want to fight for.
Literally, it doesn't matter what your composition is. You want to fight for Ocean Soul. There is no composition that doesn't want Ocean Soul. That's the beauty of it. It means that we have to see E-Star actually contest for dragons this game. You can't just let these ones go. Or maybe they can. That's what I would have said about Infernal Soul.
That's what they'll show you.
I thought there was going to be more of a reply than that.
There's no reply. Today's been an interesting day, Munchables. An interesting day, and it's still interesting because I'm trying to decide, you know, how much of a payment did they need to give to that god for the 2-0 over LGD? Are they just losing the game, or are they losing the series? It doesn't look like the series. I definitely hard favor Suning in this position.
I don't know if I'd lean on that narrative right now, because Suning are in a really good spot.
That's not a narrative. Those are my true feelings.
Narratives are true.
Are they?
Yes, that's the point. We're telling the stories of the team.
Stories are true?
I have never said a narrative that I don't believe in. Like, I don't say stuff that I genuinely believe is dishonest about the team.
Really?
Do you?
All the time?
I hope not.
Rogue Warriors? Bloodthirsty? Knee slap.
Have you seen the first series of today? You should go back and watch the VODs. If you missed the first series of the day, by the way, guys,
wait.
it was nuts.
We need to slow down because for some reason,
We need to speed up.
E-Star just got a free turret as we rambled on about nothing.
Yeah, that's true. E-Star did just get themselves a tier 2 in the top lane. In the meantime, Bin and Sword Art desperately try to hammer away at this tower. Hey, on the upside, Bin Belt have played of the Rune King. Rejoice,
Yes, he did. So he is going to be extremely strong in that isolated 1v1. Going to give him some
And he's
bits
going to
of scaling
scale
as
well into
Yep,
the game.
Exactly. Going to give him.
I remember what you
Gonna
told
give
me
him some
about
bits of
this.
scaling into his kit as well, but still, this is why you can't just start rambling about nonsense because we missed how Suning utterly messed up. I mean, we didn't miss how. We obviously just saw them do nothing, but
They didn't do nothing. They got themselves a tier 1 and traded it for a tier 2.
there we go.
Which technically isn't nothing. Is it good? No, but hey, it wasn't nothing.
That's true.
And you know what? With some of the trades I've seen today, I'm happy to take that.
I agree, right? That is definitely not the worst trade we've seen today. Definitely not the worst macro trade we've seen overall in the LPL. That's like the normal Wednesday here.
What a great accolade. Yeah. This wasn't the worst macro trade I've ever seen in the LPL. Good job, Suning.
It's like a typical Wednesday play here.
The lyric endorsement of "You aren't the worst thing I've ever seen."
Fun's on LeBlanc, and we've seen LeBlanc consistently get away in this series.
Sword Art gets to hover on the distortion, though. The rest of E-Star are here. We're going to have a team fight on our hands. Fun jumps past Sword Art.
Oh, wow.
He's going to flash. He's not done just yet. Shockwave. They can't get the CC to connect, and now it's Sword Art that's going to go down. Great answer here from E-Star.
But is it a great answer from E-Star, or is it like, Suning, why did you just commit? Now, like, I'm fine with Leona going in.
Just let me be positive.
Why commit the Shockwave?
It was a great answer from E-Star. If the Shockwave went the other way, maybe Suning could
It
do
was
something.
an answer, and it got them a kill. I agree. We take that.
The monkey is better than the croc after all, even though he had
Even though he
nothing
did
to do
nothing.
with it.
Jeez.
All right, well, you know what, Lyric? If you're not going to be positive, tell me the worst thing about this game so far.
I feel like negative.
I'm a positive guy, Lyric.
You know, Munchables, I don't spin false narratives. I only speak the truth.
Tell me
so
the truth.
when there isn't anything negative happening, I can't say negatives because right now, we're farming.
So it was a positive thing from E-Star. They
getting
did find
blue
a really
buffs.
good answer.
Exactly. We're farming Groms. We're pushing waves.
That's
we're
true.
probably going to lay down some vision. A dragon's coming up in 1 minute and 45 seconds. This is League of Legends.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
You could see them
And
fighting.
E-Star looking for a pick on the bot side, but Bin's not falling for it, which means they have full pressure top. But guess what? No one from E-Star is on the top side of the map either, so SOM and Angel aren't going to find a pick.
But they could find themselves a tier 2 if Angel keeps on pushing. Wei has been spotted on this bottom side by Bin. Dominus available, so there's no universe in which E-Star can dive him. And Drake's not up for another minute, so it doesn't matter that Suning's on the top side of the map.
I don't understand your tone for that.
I'm like setting up for a team fight that's not going to happen.
Well, nothing. Oh, something.
Oh, hang on. One flying. Wei's gone in. Oh, it was so close to beautiful. That could have been amazing.
I mean, it could have been, but honestly, it wasn't going to be. He had E, he had Flash, he has Heal. Still, I like that he went for the play. It was
I've seen
exciting.
bigger misplays. I've seen Ezreals get caught out. I've been the Ezreal that gets caught out in that situation. But you know what? I'll give him it. Honfeng is slightly better than I am.
Look, Munchables, we're getting to a point where Dragon's up at 30 seconds. We're getting some resets out of both teams. E-Star are going to be up on the map first, so they're going to be able to set up some vision. And now we're finally going to get some sort of team fight. Looking at the items, I'd probably still favor the side of Suning. Bin, SOFM, and Angel are all massive, and sort of just needs to be, some level of CC and then going with the Stone Play to buy time. For the side of E-Star, we need to see, I'd say, a massive Cyclone into Moonlight Vigil from Wink, and Fun pressuring on the flank.
We'll see if Fun can find anything on this LeBlanc. And, let's just talk power spikes for a second here, because we've got 2 items coming through for a lot of these carries. Fun already trying to set up for this pick here. And we're going to have a fight. Forget the items. Angel is massive. That's what I want to say about that one. So is the Ezreal. But Fun, if he's in the right spot, if someone walks into him, if Huanfeng steps out of place, he's going to be able to find himself a kill. Huanfeng has to be really careful. But the Drake is going to be going the way of SOFM here. Soon and get this one with no contest. Huanfeng knew he was there. Why are you going into him? You don't win that 1v1. True shot barrage across the team, or across the one player. And Fun now reunites with his squad. They trade Soul Point for a tier 1.
Numerous things don't make sense, Munchables. First of all, E-Star just clearly don't like dragons. They just aren't a fan of dragons. We've learned that this series. They don't want to fight, and at the same time, like you said, no idea why Huanfeng E'd into
Here's like,
Fun.
somebody's in here. It's like, who is it going to be? Who else on their team? Like, maybe he thought it was Xiaobai in there? I mean, still don't think you win that 1v1.
No, they know it's not Xiaobai because Xiaobai's pushing the top lane. They see him on the map. But,
why? I don't know.
Okay.
He must have thought no one was there, and he was queuing to stack the Muramana that's already stacked. It's the only explanation.
I mean,
maybe I am a better Ezreal than one.
Oh god. Hey,
Don't say that.
You better watch out.
My Ezreal's pretty good.
You got that comic.
Hang on. Xiaoxi's in trouble. Solar Flare comes down, and he has a stopwatch. Keeps him alive from the collateral damage, but one more shot finishes it off. SOFM grabs the kill. Trying to trade some damage back, and here's a Felios. So in the meantime, what? Huanfeng once again gets caught. He would have had his summoners had he not face-checked Fen a couple of minutes ago.
And at the same time, Suning used 3 ultimates to kill Xiaoxi. 3! So a lot of things are down on the side of Suning, and now they just need to back off. E-Star actually can't find anything, though.
Yeah, there's not really much that they can do. They have a Felios. Baron is here. It got nerfed slightly, but realistically, I don't think it makes that much difference.
I'm actually surprised they don't just want to go for it, right? Like, you have a chance to force a fight that can go in your favor. I guess Swing doesn't have Moonlight Vigil, but still you have Cyclone up. Fun has everything as well. Wei has everything.
He does have a 3k gold lead, which I'd say is probably worth more than a Moonlight Vigil.
Yes, I agree. So, feels like E-Star not making the Rogue Warriors play is a bit of a mistake. I'm going to call that it now. Baiting Baron like a normal team is the Rogue Warriors.
Here we go. We've got an engaged Shockwave onto only one player. Xiaoxi walks away with his life somehow here. And in the meantime, the rest of his team might not survive. Xiaobai does answer for one, though, and in comes Fun as well. E-Star are desperately trying to win this one out, but the Solar Flare onto Xiaobai. Oh, but he flashes! Somehow gets away with it. The Warrior Trickster himself, and it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was actually really impressive. Great flank overall from Xiaobai. I'm surprised E-Star didn't just win outright, but at the same time, those mechanics on point at the very end.
This is a weird game, honestly, because we're seeing some really high-level stuff and some really terrible stuff at the same time.
So E-Star go in. E-Star here first, because bear in mind, Bin is on the bottom half of the map. They go in great flank. Huanfeng going in. Xiaobai able to clean off Angel. Fun trying to commit, but doesn't want to stay because Bin is massive right now. Great ultimate coming out from Sora as well as Huanfeng, and that flash is literally at the perfect time.
That was reactions and a half from Xiaobai. And now, in a minute and 40, we've got another Ocean Drake. And this one, E-Star cannot ignore. Although I said that about the Infernal Soul, and they still won game 2, but I feel like E-Star have to fight for this.
Yes, they do, and I like that Suning are already kind of prepping their side waves for this play. We see Angel pushing out now, and their bot lane already has a slow push going on. They're going to be able to start to rotate over. You'd expect that they'll probably have to answer another wave top before they commit to this dragon. Then get some resets off, come on the map, lay vision down. And I still favor Suning for the side of team fights.
Hang on, we've got a team fight right now. SOFM.
That was not a team fight. That was not a team fight, Munchables.
I thought maybe there would be an answer, but now it's Sword Art that's been caught out as well. He is on the Leona. He's the tankiest member, and will get out with his life. The Solar Flare is frankly terrible. Now he's hooked by his own student. Xiaoxi takes on the Master.
And overall, it just started with SOFM getting caught in transition. I'm not sure if he was making his way down towards Dragon or trying to check River for vision.
Is this really how E-Star wins the series?
Yes, yes it is.
That is really...
Hey, we still have Shockwave on Angel as well as Bin who can jump in with Dominus and set up for it, but they actually don't want it.
This is kind of disastrous for Suning. The recalls come through from E-Star. Maybe Suning can just rush this dragon and find themselves an Ocean Soul. That would be certainly a way to find an advantage.
I feel like that's extremely... Heck, the members of E-Star are actually going to get here before even SOFM does.
It'll be close, that's for sure. Bin has the Dominus available. Ults are available right now for Suning, but they don't have all 5 members here just yet.
I feel like this team fight is going to make or break this game.
Bin is going to start the fight, but needs to be very careful. He sees alone. True Shot Barrage across the squad here. Suning are not going to let this go without a fight. In they go, but actually, yes they are. Goes the way of E-Star. Suning back off. It's fun. Why are you face-checking the LeBlanc? You had a ward on him.
Oh, God. We've seen it time and time again from Hwanfeng this game.
Hwanfeng is one of my favorite players in the LPL, but dude, what are you doing this
He's
game?
the most exciting up-and-coming AD carry in the LPL. Like, by far, easily to me. Even with players like Hope playing so well. Hwanfeng plays with that bit of swagger that it's not exactly like Shakila, but it's like in that same vein, a few more years of experience, it could be there. But this game is unconvincing.
To be fair, he hasn't died in these scenarios.
True.
He did get caught out one time in a fight, but like, he has successfully face-checked him. I say with a question mark.
That is a lot more than we can say a lot about Jackie Love's like aggressive tendencies. Not that I'm comparing Hwanfeng like that he's as good as Jackie Love right now, but Jackie Love is clearly the best we got.
You heard it here first, folks. Hwanfeng's better than Jackie Love. That's not what you heard at all.
Fake narrative Lunchables. But overall, the fact that this game turned on its head out of nowhere, out of SOFM getting caught out. Heck, we still haven't gotten a replay to see how he got caught out. It was just kind of out of nowhere.
This series is just crazy to me. The fact that we saw Suning in game 1 just completely dominate. Game number 2, super back and forth, all about the casting, all about the Kale. Now game 3, it felt like it was going Suning's way, and it's just been a comedy of errors.
Exactly. It was going Suning's way for a really long time. Heck, they still have more kills. But overall, they made the mistakes when you couldn't make a mistake, right? Right in front of Baron when there were longish death timers leading to neutral objectives.
And the siege will continue for a little old while here. 30 seconds still on that Baron, and that is long enough to get some towers if they're willing to commit to things. But I think maybe Suning will be able to defend this one. It doesn't feel like E-Star commit super hard.
Suning need to commit to one side. Give up one and just all in somewhere and try to win a straight up 5v5.
Looks like they just want to, if they can, try and defend one of both of these inhibitors and allow maybe a tower or two go down.
The decent thing is, okay, if that inhibitor does end up going down, at least they'll get consistent minion waves in their base to give to Hwanfeng and Angel and keep getting items under their belt.
The problem with that, though, is Ezreal is kind of at his strongest point in the game, right?
True.
Aphelios is going to continue to get stronger and stronger. He's already on 5 items if you include the boots. Like, Wink is so far and away ahead of Hwanfeng, it's kind of hard to put into words. Like, super minions aren't going to change that.
And the fact that we're even in this position is just so strange. It's so strange from where we were in the game like 15 minutes ago. And let's remember that Suning's had more errors than just that one. There was the one when we were talking about random nonsense and they randomly gave up a tier 2 turret topside for the tier 1 on bot. So Suning's shot calling not exactly being on point this game.
It's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know what to think about Suning off the back of this series, because I was coming into this series like, hey, Suning, they're 5-3, their wins look good, they've beaten WE, they've beaten LGD, like, this is a team that could be fighting for a top 6, maybe even top 4 on a really good day. But then we come into this series, game number 1 is like, all right, looks amazing, fantastic. Game number 2, all right, things start to fall apart. Game number 3, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Like I said, this is why Suning is a question mark to me, because Suning are the stereotypical, like, can beat anyone, can lose to anyone team in the LPL.
E-Star, feeling good. If you're an E-Star fan at home, despite the roster changes, despite the poor start to this split, like, fair play to you, because a lot of people jumped on the E-Star hype wagon at the start of spring, jumped off immediately as soon as they started losing.
Let's also point out,
you could be rewarded.
This is probably FunFun's best series. Not like he's done anything, you know, extraordinary. Like he hasn't been like a night game, but it's definitely been like 2 solid games in game 2 and 3.
We've got a fight on our hands here. FunFun jumps forward. And you're absolutely right. Fun has easily been the standout on the side of E-Star. Wink looking good on this Aphelios, but, you know.
I feel like Wei's had a pretty good series overall.
His game 1 was awesome.
Yep. His game 2 wasn't exactly his fault.
Hey, Suning, you don't have a turret in the mid lane. You do not get to contest this. That's your inhibitor gone. But the dragon that's up in 10 seconds would be soul for Suning.
And E-Star actually just going to give it over. And
E-Star just like, hey, you can have the Ocean Salt. We'll just have your entire base. I don't know if this is even worth it, even for an Ocean Salt.
Yeah, this is going to be a questionable one. And so once again, I mean, we're at the point in this game, right, that everything's just going to come down to one massive team fight. That's where all the cards are going to be kind of dealt, and we're going to see who comes out on top.
Or, with 2 inhibs down, this could come down to E-Star just looking at Suning and not doing a team fight, while the super minions destroy the entire base.
You're right. They could just go, they could take this Baron, go bot lane, siege with Baron buff, and force Suning into an uncomfortable position where they choose between the base and their bot.
Just cackle maniacally. That is an option for them. Cackling maniacally is always a strong play.
Lunchables, today your analysis has been on point.
Thank you.
Though it always is, the viewers just aren't lucky enough to hear it as I am.
All right.
You save all of your S+ analysis for offcast. You're like, this champion does A, B, and C, and this team does this, and I'm just like, Munchables, I'm glad you don't show me up on cast. Thank you so much.
That's okay, Larry. I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about, but you know what? A compliment's a compliment, and I'll take it, damn it. E-Star move back to the Baron once again, but they're not going to start it, because that would be too clever.
I think they just should, too. Like, do exactly what you point out. Use these super minions, wait for them to push in, be patient, take the Baron, and, you know, worst case scenario, you even give time for Xiaobai to come and set up a flank. Actually, he has TP advantage. So if he sits bot, soon you're forced into an uncomfortable position of, hey, do we give up bot turret, or do we give up Baron?
That is what they're going to do now. True Shot Barrage used just to scout things out, and Xiaobai, as you rightly say, going to be sitting in that bottom lane. Now the pressure is going to start to build up, and E-Star, as much as I'm ribbing them for not starting the Baron, they don't need to. They can just sit here all day long and force Suning into a bad spot. Sword Art gets out like crazy.
I think now is where you go and start the Baron, though. You push in this next wave. Again, just keep Xiaobai bot at spine. He has TP advantage. Get on the Baron right now.
You're absolutely right. And E-Star are on exactly the same page. Suning in a macro nightmare. The Ocean Soul perhaps wasn't worth it. But ultimately, if you're Suning, maybe this is not the fight to take right now, because Xiaobai is going to take your entire base while you're here.
Ooh, yeah, Xiaobai going to get in. Again, it goes back to the fact that Bin had already blown his TP earlier.
This is exactly what we said before. The Ocean Soul isn't worth it if you never get to fight again. E-Star, just never fight them again. Just play this perfect macro game that they are, and everything's great.
Bin does force out the Cyclone, but it doesn't matter because Bin has no way of coming to this fight.
And Xiaobai just goes straight back in on the bottom side. He's going to get an inhibitor. E-Star could just back away from the Baron once again. Doesn't quite get the inhib. Bin is there to stop things.
And the fact that we're seeing E-Star out macro Suning is not something I expected coming in the day. Even look at Suning's base.
Straight bonkers, Larry. It's straight bonkers.
You know,
is that where you're going with that one?
Is, again, those super minions taking the Nexus as, like you said, E-Star just get to stand there and watch. They don't need to do anything.
I will say they have been standing there and watching for a long time now, though.
Yes,
and the inhibs are going to be coming back up. They're kind of running out of time to make this play. And it's not actually worked just yet. They didn't get the inhib in the bottom side.
Xiaobai does have TP, though, so is waiting for that flank.
Bin isn't here just yet. Neither is Angel. Sword Art going to survive, though. Just uses a stone plate. And honestly, Suning are happy with this. Like, the inhibs are coming back up. The pressure has been survived.
Yeah, I don't understand why E-Star is so afraid of pulling the trigger, but ultimately Xiaobai didn't have Cyclone, so maybe not wanting to overcommit to that flank, but at the same time,
Bin wasn't there.
I also feel like E-Star could have been more aggressive with starting the Baron like even earlier and just trying to commit more to Suning come in. Of course, they do have the poke coming out from Huanfeng, so it's not that simple, but...
You know, did you see the clip on Reddit of Freak talking about CLG just like not doing anything? That's kind of how I feel a little bit about E-Star.
This
Although,
is not the same.
It's not the same because at least they are going for it now. but they get spotted, so they back away. Is this not the same? Because it feels kind of the same. It feels like E-Star need to actually pull the trigger on something.
And
they kind of pressured a bit and then just backed away.
We're also on a full build of Felios, actually. We haven't pointed out. He does have his 6th item. So
yeah. He's big.
Yeah.
He's real big.
And he's 1-1-1 in these 6 items. That just shows how little has happened this
Since
game.
the last time we checked on the items, by the way, Huanfeng has gained 2 tier 2 items. He's essentially gained components.
I mean, he's like literally gained components. Those are literally components.
Tier 2s, they count as items, I think. Just not very good items.
Okay.
Xiaobai's been found. Bit of damage out of Bin here, but, you know. Ultimately, Xiaobai not willing to take that one. He knows the croc beats the monkey.
Right. This is going to come down
That's
to
the rules of nature.
Are we going to see Suning get this big AoE play like we saw topside, right? Where you hit the Graves ult with the Orianna Shockwave as well as Renekton going in with the Dominance? Or are we going to get to see another Aphelios moment where a bunch of champions run forward at him, he has the perfect guns, gets the perfect Moonlight Vigil, and, you know, it's all in a day's work. So it's Wink for the side of E-Star and a big, massive team combo on the side of Suning.
I want to see both.
It's kind of fun.
Why not both?
You know, it's actually kind of funny.
At the same time.
Like, me saying that sentence, the fact that Aphelios is the equivalent of a massive AoE wombo combo from numerous champions.
I feel like quite a lot of times I've been a bit of an apologetic? A bit of a...
Aphelios apologist?
That's what I'm trying to say. And I've compared his ult to things like the Orianna Shockwave, for example. But even with Orianna in this game, I still feel like Aphelios has the advantage here. Elder Drake is on the map.
Ooh,
now we have to see the fight. This is what's going to decide the game, probably.
Huanfeng already got Sword Art low.
Sword Art is low. Still has his Stone Plate, though, so certainly has the opportunity to go in and make things happen.
It's game 2, Munchables. It's game 2.
It's game 2 all over again. Fun trying to get onto SOFM, but with a shield there. Huanfeng jumps into the brush once more. This time it's on Xiaobai, and they commit to the top lane. SOFM in the pit as well. But Xiaobai taken by the solar flare. Didn't wear his sunglasses, and he pays the price. Xiaoxi barely surviving, but Suning are onto the dragon. They're just trying to get this Elder buff for themselves now, but they know that Wei is still nearby. They've got to pull it out of the pit. In goes Bin to try and get onto the jungler, but E-Star took the dragon. That could turn around this fight. Wink still surviving. Keep your eyes on the Aphelios as Fun running distraction in the backline, but SOFM, he wants himself a 1v1. Fun desperately trying to get away, but there isn't a way out. Shotgun to the face.
Still, this game is so insane. E-Star doing what Suning did last game in front of the dragon, just staring at Suning, waiting for something to happen. They do still get Elder on... Oh, I guess they have Elder on everyone, but yeah, they still have Elder, but can Suning just end?
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. And hey, if you're going to have Elder on just one player, Aphelios is the guy. This is still possible in my eyes. Suning battling down the mid lane, and this is their chance to win it all. But Xiaoxi back alive, Xiaobai back alive. With Fun on the Death Realm, they've decided that's not enough to push the advantage.
And it keeps going, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe Suning will be able to secure this Baron, you would expect.
I would hope so.
15 seconds, but...
I would really hope so, because I'm pretty sure they can burst this before anyone arrives. Wei on the scene. Moonlight Vigil not quite available just yet. Wei could look for a steal, but I think this is going to go with the weight of Suning. We could still have a fight, though. This would be 4v5, but Fun has TP. Here we go. Sword Art's in a little bit of trouble here as Angel tries to get away on this Orianna. It is just Sword Art going down. Wei now trying to find a route into the fight, but they back away in the end. Suning survived, but 40 seconds on the support.
Still, Suning do have super minions pushing down mid, so E-Star going to have to clear that before they can start potentially taking some inhibitors. You would still expect them to have time to potentially, heck, they could maybe get all 3, but...
It's important to mention that with Aphelios having the Elder buff, that is essentially just Elder buff for E-Star.
Yeah, it's Elder on Wei and Wink, so...
But Wink can hit basically everyone in the fight with the Hurricane, so they can still just proc that during this fight. It's 4v5 right now. E-Star win if they fight right this second. Angel blocks a lot of that damage. Sword Art up in 2 seconds time. E-Star desperate to get on the inhibitor, but they're not going to be able to do it. Suning, 4v5 somehow defend.
Munchables, I just feel like we're not going to get any massive team fight anytime soon. Every time it looks like we are,
you know what?
Both teams are just too hesitant.
There was no other way this day could end, was there, Lyric?
No.
This is a full 6-game day. This is
Suning
as
are pushing the
LPL
base,
as it
though.
comes.
Suning are pushing the base. We're getting something.
They're going to try and force the issue. There's a minion wave in the top side. I don't know what that True Shot Barrage was, but hey. An ult is an ult, is an ult is an ult, I guess. And now Suning move up to the top side. They've still got Baron to work with. Elder has fallen off the members of E-Star.
Yep, Wei and Wink do not have that anymore, so now it's up to Suning. Please go in. Please, Suning.
I'm just waiting for it.
Give us a team fight.
I'm so excited for this potential team fight that could happen at any moment.
Once again, if Xiaobai can get in, hit a really good cycle and on, say the 3 members that are right in front of him, layer that with the Moonlight Vigil.
We've now seen kind of a role reversal, though, where it's going to be Suning that get themselves 2 inhibitors. So that map pressure is on their side. Xiao C flashes for a hook that doesn't hit.
And now Suning are going to recall.
Let's go. All right. Well, hey, at least this was clean play. Like, this was correct from Suning. Right? They did a good macro play. We've been pretty harsh to both these teams this series, but that was good.
You're right. Now they just go bot, and they do exactly what E-Star did to them before, and we see what happens.
Like, I, too, really wanted a team fight there, Lyric. I am also disappointed we didn't get a big 5v5, but you know what? I'm also a proponent for good macro. That's what we just saw.
Munchables, I'm not disappointed at the lack of a fight. I'm extremely happy at Suning clearing out jungle camps and moving bot to use their super minions on the opposite side of the map.
Clearing out the wolves while full build.
Exactly. I'm ecstatic about that.
It's good. It's real good. But hey, how often do you get to see a game where pretty much everyone in the game gets to 6 items? Not that often.
How often do you get to see a full build Orianna, Ezreal Graves against a full build Felios? Which one will come out on top?
Hey,
you will find out soon.
We could see the tempo get real value now.
Exactly. We are highlighting lethal tempo once again. Obviously, also is Gathering Storm, so...
Like, if Wink can have his Infernum and like a Calibrum or something, he can go insane. Nothing quite going to land there. Is collateral damage used by SOFM?
Does have the Infernum up. Also looks like he has the Crescendum. There we go.
You're correct. Good job. The white one. Let's just take a moment here to explain what on earth is going on right now, because Suning obviously backing away a little bit, but it's because they have the inhibitors in the top and the mid lane. They've got to wait for the pressure of the minions here.
A good thing for Suning, too, is that top wave will probably hit the Nexus about the same time as Elder spawning. So they should be able to just go straight towards Elder once that wave top hits, while someone like probably Xiaobai is going to answer it, then have to blow a TP to come into the fight.
I didn't realize quite how short of a cooldown collateral damage is. Like, SRFM is just using it for poke, and it's already halfway done. That's kind of nuts.
Oh, actually, FunFun's going to answer this wave, and it actually hits just a bit early. Now the inhibs are actually respawning for the side of E-Star.
And now it's E-Star's turn to get a couple of inhibs and do nothing. Let's go. We're in all night, boys and girls. Buckle yourselves in. This is going to be a long one.
Let's remember, I should remember too because I come from team side, that this is game 3, a really crucial moment. There's high pressure on both teams. Going to be harder to execute in moments like this.
So, SOFM starts this Elder Dragon once again. This is the kind of buff. Last time the Elder Dragon was up, about 20 minutes ago, we set it up as the moment that was going to win the game. It was not the moment that won the game. And now it's Suning that are starting this one off, trying to grab themselves the Drake, and they might just be able to do it. Elder Dragon snuck away E-Star, not confident enough to pull the trigger. And that could be disaster for them.
And I want to know what E-Star, I guess they were zoned out from the pit initially anyway, because, Suning had the 2 inhibitors to play with and use that pressure. Going to give it up and try to buy time, but at least now we know this is the time where Suning are going to push down mid and look for a team fight to end this game. Yes, they are, Munchables.
No. What they're going to do is they're going to go to Baron that's up in 15 seconds. And they're going to spend a bunch of time there. They're going to start it, then back away. And they're going to start it again. And then Elder buff is going to drop off. And then they're going to commit to Baron. Then E-Star will contest. We'll have a big 5v5. Who knows who wins? We'll flip a coin. And that'll be the winner of the series.
I'm just saying, if this happens, it is confirmed that you choose these results. Confirmed.
No comment.
Except LNG, because you didn't believe hard enough.
I tried, guys. I tried. I don't think even if I did, it would have done anything.
Oh, it's not going according to script, Munchables. They're getting buried for free. They're
are
going
actually
to push
gonna
down
get the
mid.
Baron.
Yep, they're going to push down mid after this, and we are going to either get a fight or East are just going to back off slowly and give up their base.
Which we have seen before. Not just in the LPL, but in all regions.
Okay, so we're at a 6-item point for both teams. Who wins this fight at this point, Munchables?
Suning, because they have an Elder buff,
Yes, they do.
So
I
nothing
completely
else matters.
Well, guys, the cast is of the same opinion. Suning are winning this team fight. I'm sure you're all of the same opinion too. Let's be honest.
If you're not, like, you have very strong faith in Aphelios. Yes. And to be honest, I can't really blame you. Like, it's still very possible. Well, let's just wait and see, shall we? As now the push begins into the mid lane. Easy inhib. They don't have any minions in the bot lane, but honestly, I don't think they need inhibs. They just need to end the game.
Yeah, they're going to push for that end. We're going to get a team fight.
Or are we?
Shoutsy's going to look for a hook.
Way's got a kick on a Renekton, but
Let's
that's
go.
not the best target. Here we go. Dominus going to be used by Bin, but good by Shoutzy. He's gone. Now onto the rest of the team. Shoutby gets a huge knockup. Oh my god, can they turn this one around? Hotfug's still going though. And it's going to be Shoutby that falls. Big old death timers on either side of the board right here, but Angel went down in the mix of all of that, and Wink is still going strong. Wade trying to defend as the turrets are starting to fall, but he's low. Can they finish it? Elder gets his GA. Down goes the rest of the team. Fun has fallen. Wink has to win this one by himself. Way's on the scene as well. They're just going for the Nexus. In onto Wink as he desperately tries to win the fight, but SOFM is just on the Nexus, and Suning have done it.
Munchables, this ending was like the perfect example of this game. Once again, going down to a Nexus play, and Hwanfeng SOFM sort of coming out massive.
This lion can roar, baby. Suning 2-1 in the end. And hey, at least we got a climactic ending, because goddamn did we need it.
We deserved it after that long. Both teams just staring at each other from opposite sides of the rift. And I guess ultimately, all Suning had to pay for the win against LGD was, you know, some hiccups against E-Star.
This was a series and a half, Lyric, but you know what? Suning take it in the end, and was it fast? No. Was it clean? No. But you know what? It was fun to watch, and I was down for the whole time.
We've had a 6-hour day. It has actually been 6 hours of LPL games.
I think it might have been longer than that, honestly. I don't know. I've lost track of time at this point. I think you're right. I think it's 6 hours. We're getting to 10 to 11. We started at 5. I can't count. It's all gone. Like, the energy drink is wearing off, Lyric. I'm not going to lie. I've missed my last train, by the way. That ship sailed about half an hour ago.
For those of you who were able to stay with us as we kind of lost our minds,
thank you.
Thank you so much. But,
we appreciate you.
You know, also, just props to Suning. It wasn't beautiful League of Legends. It wasn't decisive or dominant League of Legends. But they got the win. They're sitting on 6 series wins. 8 series is what got you to playoffs last split. And at the end of the day, that's all you care about is the side. On the side of Suning, if I can finish sentences to end out this day.
I don't think either of us can finish sentences at this point, but you know what? That's okay, because, like, I was talking about missing my train. I am obviously joking. I'll get a taxi, because you know what? If I get a day like that, if I get games like these, this is why I watch LPL. This is why I'm here in the first place, is for absolute fiestas like that. And you know what? It's so much fun every single time.
It was something. It was interesting. It was quite the day.
I had fun. Did you not have fun? Did you not enjoy this menagerie of gameplay we got to witness?
I had fun, but it was like constant, endless fun where you just start to you laugh maniacally. You're going crazy. You're like, please stop. The fun just doesn't stop.
It's like being tickled to death.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's kind of funny for about 20 seconds, and then it gets real scary.
You're like on an endless roller coaster ride with like a bunch of really creepy clouds and tickling, and it's just as scary as it is.
You forgot to put on your seatbelt, and now it's like you don't want to let go of the handles to put it on. Oh god.
But
everyone's gonna have nightmares now, but you know what? It was worth it.
I agree, but I don't think this damage graph matters. Of course, Hwanfeng did the most. He's on Ezreal. This game was like an hour long. At the end of the day, we saw both teams at different times do nothing in front of Dragon. At the end of the day, though, it was E-Star who did more nothing than Suning. Suning got a bunch of objectives, and they were able to push for the win. It did almost look like Wings Aphelios could pull through.
I was scared in that last fight. Oh my god.
You know, and I actually have not bought on to like the 200 years hype. I've just been like, well, you know, he's strong, sure. He's a bit too strong, whatever. But had he won that fight against, an Oriana Grace,
that would have been the moment.
Ezreal, I would have been on board. I would have been complaining too, but, he didn't win. So, no 200 years complaints today. We had...
The big thing, right, here's my stand on the 200 years thing, right? If you put Jinx in that situation, she wins the fight arguably harder than Aphelios does. Same kind of deal with Sivir, like insane late game damage. Like there are other crit 80 carries that when you give them 6 items and they're just able to free fire in a team fight, especially Jinx, in fact, like Jinx annihilates teams.
Look,
she just 2-shots entire teams.
I just want to say for all you out there who think
crit 80 carries
sounds like a moron for saying that Sivir is as strong as Aphelios, go and harass him.
I appreciate it. Please, just send me all the hate you want to. I don't care. I'm ready. Aphelios is definitely too strong, but there's a lot of things that are too strong in League of Legends. That's why the draft exists. If you don't want to play against Aphelios, just ban him. Stop complaining. That's all I have to say.
And remember, in Game 1, we didn't even get an Aphelios. He wasn't banned at all. Neither side picked him. We had Ashe against Ezreal. And, I think in retrospect, it was a mistake because, again, Wink was almost the reason they were able to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, Wink did great. And, like, you can go ask LS. There are ways to play around Aphelios. Aphelios does not need to be as high priority as he is. He does not need to be nerfed to the ground. I do think he's a little strong.
I think we should probably turn this from a segment.
That we need to move the team away.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's get away from that one. Suning win at the end of the day. It's gone, Lyric. I don't know what to talk about. This is such a long series. This is so all over the place. I want to compliment Suning.
Who do you think gets MVP? That's the question. Really?
Angel? Wait, no. For the whole series, maybe Angel?
Yes, for
that
the whole
game?
series, Angels for sure. But
I honestly don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know who you give
Nobody?
it to. Yeah, no. The viewers.
The viewers are the MVP.
But
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Bid.
I was gonna say Bin as well.
Yeah, my guess is Bid. There we go. I'm gonna throw that one out there. I guess it could.
I mean, Angel had some pretty great ults.
SOFM had a good game for the most part. It just stamped in my mind when he randomly got caught out and gave E-Star a chance in the first place.
You know who's the real MVP? I've just been told by production. It's Hwanfeng, because he was the 80 carry and it was a long game. And that's how it works here in League of Legends.
Yep.
Minus 5,000 gold at the end of things, but you know what? It doesn't matter. He was Ezreal and he hit Q a whole bunch.
You know, he might have aggressively eat into a lot of brushes with LeBlancs. But
on purpose.
That's even more
on
right.
Purpose.
Exactly. Because it was on purpose. That's why he deserves it.
You know what?
That's why. He kept testing his limits and I loved it.
I can respect limit testing in the middle of an LPL official match. He got away with it. He didn't die from it, so, what can I even say?
He's like, I see Jackie Love do this all the time. Huh, that guy's only a world champion and goes in himself. And it's actually interesting because, he was the sub, not the sub, but he was on the second team of Jackie Love, right? Jackie Love was on IG, he was on IG Young, so kind of maybe trying to show up his former... I don't know where I'm going with this. Hwanfeng's not comparable to Jackie Love, but he did get the MVP. He does a lot of good performances.
They both play Ezreal.
They both play Ezreal.
I can't
They
argue
both
with
play
that.
Draven.
They both have played Draven.
Well,
let's look at the results for today. Because it was a long one. I don't know if you guys just tuned in. You missed it. What can I say? We had 6 games here today. Vici managed to take out Rogue Warriors. The winless Warriors continue with an 8-loss streak now. And then we finished things out with a 2-1 win for Suning over E-Star. And it was a mess, Lyric.
Again,
it was a mess.
The games today averaged about an hour altogether with the fact that this broadcast started 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a banger today, but...
If we go for another 3 minutes, 15 seconds, it will have been exactly 6 hours. But you know what? Tomorrow, we've got 6 more hours of League of Legends coming your way. B5 against LNG, IG against BLG.
Yep, tomorrow will be me and Mr. Hysterics bringing you through a journey. Me as the V5 spokesperson. Maybe we'll get to see more life out of LNG. And then BLG back once again. I'm going to assume and hope it's with Meteor, but, we won't know until later tonight. And IG... Gotta come back and, try to bounce back and show some good form with, the Shine rookies always.
Yeah, the first series looks very one-sided when you look at the scoreboard. The second series, with the way that BLG played in their most recent series, it actually could be a really good series. Depends what version of IG shows up. No one ever knows what version of IG is going to show up. Same thing for BLG, where if Meteor is there, if they're playing like they did recently, hey, maybe it could be a really good series.
I agree. Again, it will be me and Hysterics bringing you on that journey tomorrow, so hope you guys all tune in, and we'll have some fun games.
We certainly will. I'll be in Twitch chat. Dagdo will be in Twitch chat. Those guys will be casting. But that's it from us today. This has been Lyric. I've been Munchables. Thank you
God.
from us for sticking with us and from production as well. But we're out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Got a feeling.
And also, it's not showing too. Do you have a site that you've like found before?
Yeah, I found some sites, but I cannot use it because I'm on Russia. Wait, I'll show you.
search it after that. They must have it. If they're not still banned, they're like still country, like.
You would be surprised.
ссылку скинула, вот он ее открыл, и там была папка с этими фото и таблица. Да. Да. Вот я куда-то... Google диск, не Google документы. Создать. Загрузить папку или... Папку. Ага. Всё. Мгм. 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 Да. Да. Они у меня так и есть. Загрузить. Загрузить папку. Так. Нет элементов, удовлетворяющих своего удовольствия. Ну, сейчас попробую загрузить. Не загрузила еще. Тут только гель для умывания показывает. Все показывает. Да, и еще надо таблицу. Это загрузить файл, да? В Excel. Загрузила. Да, правильно. Это на моем диске, правильно. Мгм. Так. Ага. Всё. Какую стрелку? Копировать ссылку общего. Открыть доступ. Он только для этого откроет, да? Как тут добавить пользователей группы? Как это написать всем? Доступные пользователи, у которых есть ссылка. Копировать ссылку, да? Читатель. Это что такое, зачем? Всё. Поняла. Все, копировать ссылку, да? Ну, я скопировала ее. Всё. Все нормально? Все, хорошо, спасибо. So babe, I know you wanna meet me. I wanna meet you too. But if your parents are worried about it and they're insecure,
You just get like look for that one, and I just need to say you're gonna wear that one, so don't worry about it, something like that. Like come on, it's like face shield, and it's like silk, like nothing can like fucking penetrate it. Like seriously, what's gonna like penetrate it?
what what's
Like
what's
look
the
at the
name?
silk right now, check it.
Um,
Right now.
yeah, I know.
Like try to find it right now.
Right now.
Because, you know, like, also, even though you're not coming to my house, it is very dangerous to living in, you know, like, staying in airport. And I strongly recommend you to take a plane, which one has, like, you know, like, short laying over time, like, I would say, yeah, short laying over, moment time, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, or I mean, don't stay in the airplane like for a long time. So yeah, try to search right now. It's your mission. It's your mission. Black person. Paste. There must be, because even in Amazon you can get it too. What if you don't have Amazon like function like Amazon stuff like
No,
that?
we
I
have,
don't know.
but it will be like 1 month delivery or something like that.
Did you find it with that?
I found one. It's like Oman one.
Huh? Show me. Protection suit in English. Let's try. Oh shit, what the hell is that? Look at that loading bar. It's like a set. Good promotion.
They're selling only like 10 together.
How much is the right one? 5.
Babe, I told you they sell minimum 10. I cannot buy one.
So get out the website. It's useless. How much is it?
Minimum 20 things.
3,000?
Minimum 20. I should buy minimum 20.
Maybe using plastic, you know. Maybe it's plastic, that's why they don't want to sell anymore. Hey, why don't you buy it with Julian? Because she also needed to, just in case. Like Russia, like they're like right now, only Russia's are getting like COVID right now, like from like airport or port. Maybe they're not wearing masks or something. Oh, there's a good one.
This one you found one. This one.
In the right?
Someone was on here. This one or one more.
On the far left. Yeah, that one left.
This?
1 to 50, yeah.
It's like someone.
Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, let's go then. Can you do the category, like, you know, can you arrange the category for the lowest price to highest price?
No. There is nothing.
Okay, let's keep watching. Oh, it's getting higher, yeah, I can see. That looks good. Can you check the like height and like the size of it?
The size is L or XL?
It's gotta be big to you, right?
L will be fine.
Well, just put it in the like favorite list or something like that that you can find it later. Okay.
Babe, did you do strategies?
No, I couldn't find it. I was looking for it still, but downside bets at once rolling. So which part are you going to translate? The first one or second one?
I just need to make one post about it.
So we